suitably appropriate images. I very much approve of the image of Derpy just eating herself silly, and I say.
Yep.
I say.
I say.
Good show.
What?
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 Oh my god. So we are actually live right now. So
Hi.
yeah, we are. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm mildly dead, so don't mind me. Everyone else is alive though, so we'll get them to talk instead of me.
We'll work on it.
We'll work on it. It is a work in
Yeah,
progress.
we can do the whole CV left us because he's a jerk thing.
Yeah, CV is dead.
Lovable jerk who we love.
He was eaten by multiple spiders.
Yes.
The worst way to go, because it's not just one, it's multiple, so they're fighting over the remains.
And yet it's a thing for an Australian.
And a pair of toddlers.
Yeah, you've got different poisons causing. One of them makes you feel hot, one of them makes you feel cold. It's just, no.
Well, on average, you feel alright.
It just cancels out. Yeah. If you're being poisoned, take a different poison. They poison each other. Bam, you're fine.
so many different poisons coursing through him that he's invincible.
Completely invincible. Oh my god. Welcome to the stream, everyone. CV has, due to real life concerns, put the ponies thing on the shelf for the moment while he gets other stuff in order, raises his children. That's
you
the
figured
thing.
being a good dad was maybe a little more important?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but,
We've only got a few more years until they hit that rebellious teenage phase, and then we're good to go again.
Because God knows we'll still be around by then.
Oh yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not
Nobody's
going.
getting rid of me anytime soon.
What's your excuse? Aren't you trying to ditch us?
Dude, he's still in the Simpsons fandom. Like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's going to be around longer than all of us. Like in 100 years, they'll just be digging up his Pony/Simpsons crossover fan fiction that was written in 2032.
My God.
Alright,
Does something like that actually exist?
Simpsons Pony fan fiction? Of course it does.
It will, if it doesn't.
I would be shocked if it didn't. In fact, no, I know that it is because I've rejected 2 stories for it.
I do know that there is a whole bunch of Simpsons Futurama fan fiction
of course.
crossovers.
Well, that was kind of a given considering. Like what?
So I was at the theater. I
Hmm?
was at the theater the other day watching an edition of Midsummer Night's Dream, which was very, very funny. Especially because the guy who played the Duke basically played him like Zap Brannigan.
Nice.
Oh,
yes.
So it's Zap reciting Shakespeare.
Nice.
Nice.
Alas, poor Yorick. You died before I could know you.
Wrong play.
And you and Will, Horatio.
You knew me well.
You knew me well, Horatio.
Oh dear. I remember seeing it was Midsummer's Night Dream, but it was played by one person. One person with every single character. It was very unusual. It was alright. They did.
Was it anything like the one-man Star Wars stuff?
I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it sounds pretty similar because there was one man in it. So.
Yep.
Wasn't those highlights from Hamlet, was it?
And it was one person just playing all the characters and in all the scenes, and I've got to admit they did a pretty good job of each of the individual characters, which is pretty impressive considering how many there are in that.
Yeah.
But it did get a bit confusing. So
I can imagine so.
It was definitely a thing.
Just if you decide to play all the extras and stuff.
Yeah, really.
Oh, dearie me.
A green screen would come in handy for that.
True. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the York Theatre Royal. Their yearly pantomimes are particularly interesting. Like last year, I think it was Mother Goose. They did a production of Mother Goose with Beric Taylor being the panto dame as always, And it featured one scene where they actually ran off stage and they actually ran around outside the theater interviewing people on the streets like a vox pop sort of thing. So
I love that kind of impromptu cut to it.
This 68-year-old man, bald man, in a dress that probably weighed 3 times as much as he did, going around on the street asking people what their opinion on the Duke was. Like, well then. Oh dear.
I wonder how many just actually rolled with it and played along.
Yeah.
All of them, including the local newscasters.
This sounds an awful lot like the Thursday Next books. Has anyone ever read Thursday Next?
Thursday Next.
No.
Oh, they're brilliant. And I've already packed them away.
No.
Oh yeah, because you're moving to the middle of
Bumblefuck. No, it's a series of books about this character called Thursday Next. Her family name is Next. For some reason, her dad named her Thursday.
No, I mean, you've got Wednesday. You've got Wednesday Addams. You just got to go one better.
Yeah, exactly. Thursday Next, and it's set in a slightly parallel universe where Shakespeare has become this sort of incredible, popular thing. And there's this one particular play that is put on. It's Hamlet, actually. I think it is. It's become like an audience participation thing where basically it's sort of like halfway between Shakespeare and a pantomime. And there's this place where it's put on every single day, and people just go down and yell at the stage, and the characters run out into the audience and interact with them, and the people run onto the stage and try and stop the murders and all kinds of stuff like that.
Wow!
Not gonna lie, that actually sounds like a lot of fun.
I mean, the books themselves are really, really well done because it's set in a slightly different world where the Nazis invaded the UK and conquered it for a while, and then George Formby led the resistance.
So this is basically the Man in the High Castle.
President for life. Wales is a communist republic.
Of course it is. It is now. So this is basically the Man in the High Castle sort of thing.
Kind of, but there is also the added thing where Thursday Next is she works for a section of the police that deal with literary crime. That is crime that takes place in books.
Interesting.
So they go into books and deal with crime in books.
Okay. I thought that might have been you would arrest someone who wrote grisly murders because they're clearly deranged or something like that. But,
no,
fair enough.
No, although they do go around doing stuff like that as well. There's a running joke through the entire series about Shakespeare's Lost Cardenio, which is a play that everyone thinks must have existed but can't be found. And people keep bringing up copies of it that they say they found, and it's like, this is written in biro on lined paper. It is not the Lost Cardenio. It's like, but it sounds so good.
He apparently has a pet dodo called Pickwick because they've been reintroduced through cloning. But he's only version 1.2 because DNA cloning wasn't complete until 1.7. So she's missing wings.
That's right.
What the hell, Arch?
It's an awesome series. It's brilliant.
I was gonna say, like, there are so many books that this reminds me of, like, series. This reminds me a little bit of, but it's not quite like any of them.
Yeah,
her dad is basically a time policeman. Only he has been erased from existence. So he keeps coming to visit her, but nobody else accepts that he's real.
Okay. I just googled. That's a fantastic looking car.
Yes, it is. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Can you link it?
If you just Google Thursday Next and turn it onto image search, it's basically all of them. I also see the wingless dodo going plock.
Yes, apparently that's how it's referenced in the book.
Yeah.
Oh, the air affair.
And her dad's name is Wednesday Next.
That's right.
She's called Thursday.
That's right.
Holy shit, that is a cool car.
I just love the author's name as well. So well.
It's actually pretty cool.
Ford.
Jasper Ford.
Yeah.
With 2 F's.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. That actually sounds like a really good series.
It is a really good series. It's another one.
Sounds like almost like a mix of like Wreck-It Ralph, kind of, a bit of 1981, kind of, like a bit of The Man in the High Castle, a bit of fucking We Happy Few, for God's sake.
my.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Also, apparently, is Britain like divided into genres or something?
No,
seems
that's like a map of the literary world.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's the okay. Right. Well, huh.
I do recommend it.
But
It is a very
come
good
to it with an open mind.
a very open mind.
A
And
very
most
open
of the
mind.
drinks in you.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh dear, there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on.
Speaking of stuff like this, I'm actually well, Arch and I released a video the other week of Arch and Plum discuss literary fiction while stomping around in mechs.
An
Which is-
excellent thing. If you get the chance to watch it, go watch it.
It's hilarious.
It's
It's
amazing.
just so incongruous.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what we've done. I've also got a couple of other videos, like I've even got one just sat around unpublished on my YouTube, which is Arch and me drunk like 3 years ago at 2 a.m. playing War Thunder in Hurricanes on a winter map, and it's just us shit talking each other while discussing history. So
I don't
What
remember
happened?
this. You'll have to publish it because
I completely forgot about it until I stumbled across it. So
Please publish it because that's like YouTube banter is like the best.
But yeah, we should absolutely make this a thing where we just like discuss literary stuff while playing unrelated video games.
Yes.
I will
Very
have to
completely
supply the
toast.
beer if that needs if that.
You'll supply us
Prepare
with
to replace Seattle's Angels.
yeah, I could do that. Yeah, the new podcast. We'll do it while
Cool.
playing Depth or something like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Depth
Space
is
Beast Terror Fright.
yeah, Space Beast Terrified. Oh god, that would be
We have to have
interesting.
Music playing in the background as well.
The Jaws theme, of course.
Naturally.
For real though, Depth is fucking
Yes.
phenomenal, Arch. You need to try this out while it's still free. I think I'm honestly gonna pick up a 4-pack.
I
So-
looked it up on Steam.
Oh.
It doesn't look free for me.
Does it not?
No, I have to pay money for it.
Oh well, I'm
Which,
gonna
you know,
pick up a 4-pack.
I don't mind
so-
doing because it's
Oh,
only
you're gonna
£5
pick up
at
a
the minute. So
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up a 4-pack because this is
Alright.
absolutely something that's incredibly fun. But it's
Well,
playing
it's fun if
solo.
you're a shark. If you're a diver, it's a bit like, well, I'm screwed.
No, being a diver is really fun as well. Because
So it's balanced.
Yeah, it's super balanced. You've got 4 divers and you've got 2 sharks. There's a bunch of different sharks. The divers can have a bunch of different gear. Hey, Red.
All right.
Hey, there
Welcome
he is.
to the
oh
We were
Red.
discussing YouTube videos.
yeah, incidentally, Red has a video just out just now, pretty much.
Mm,
Which apparently was a bitch to narrate.
yes.
But absolutely
Yeah.
hilarious to watch.
What I should do is I should upload just a 30-second clip. It's just you noticing things from my perspective because it looks so much better from that.
Do it.
Oh
Do you think
dear.
people would notice?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Notice it.
Oh,
Christ. But yeah, that should absolutely be the
Jokes.
thing.
Yeah.
And we need to do a
Imagine-
Seattle's Angels stream where everyone is in depth.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have too many
We
of
just-
us.
We just do the whole stream while we're playing depth.
Yeah, of course.
That's
So we
actually
can-
pretty cool, I think.
Just
Yeah.
calmly talking about Fix in a civilized way while we're killing sharks.
Or
Yeah,
being
well,
sharks killing
Punctuated every so often with, oh shit, get out of the
Yeah.
way!
Absolutely. One thing I absolutely love about
Sudden
Depth
rage
that
against
is
someone
completely
else.
unrelated to the gameplay in any way. It's got like command wheels where if you hold down a button and you mouse over a thing, your character says, "I require ammunition," sort of thing, right? It's got 2
Alright.
of them. The first one is, "We need a medic. Let's plant some mines. Stick close to Steve." Stuff like that.
The usual stuff.
By the way, the robot's called Steve.
okay.
Yeah. And
Of course it is.
The second command wheel is literally the shit talk command wheel. It's fucking
Oh my god.
because you've got things like harpooned and shit like that, and oh,
That is beautiful.
it's the one at the top is game is hard. So okay. I fucking love Depth. Fucking great.
Oh man.
So yeah, next stream, watch out for this.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
I fully endorse that idea.
Mm.
Because it's a
Guns of
brilliant
Icarus.
idea.
If we can get Guns of Icarus working again, that would also be acceptable.
Oh yeah.
Despite
I
it
would
being a
love to
game
play
that
another
killed my
Guns of Icarus
computer.
game. That was fun.
Dude, yeah. The DLC that's coming out soon, it's got
When is
some...
that supposed to hit? Do we know?
I don't know when it's supposed to come out of alpha. It's in alpha at the moment, so if you pay for it, you get all the stuff.
Oh, nice.
Like a PvE mode and a bunch of new ships. We tried out some of the ships. They're pretty interesting. But I don't know when it actually comes out. But I'd totally be down for playing some of that.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
There are so many games that would be fucking great to do a podcast in. Because there are so many which are just long lulls of when nothing much happens, and then brief moments of oh shit hilarity, like Space Beast and Guns of Icarus and Depth and all that sort of thing, or even Evolve, I suppose. Even though I don't have that one, so. But yeah. Right, we should probably talk about the horses a little bit rather than just video games.
I was
Maybe.
just actually looking at the stories from the last
Around
time
88.
that reviews were done.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
productive creature, you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, I read What Witches Shall Still Await.
Oh. What's your opinion on it? This is the Patrick Poltergeist one, yes?
Well, yeah, it's Patchwork Poltergeist, which is basically recommendation enough. That guy's
Pretty much.
amazing writer.
Patrick is an amazing person.
Mm-hmm.
And
I got met him.
Her. So probably not.
Definitely not that now.
it was
Maybe
It
they
was
were
basically,
masquerading.
maybe. It was basically Filthy Rich when he meets his wife to be, and they have a little conversation, and it's so. It feels in character for like older rich people who are looking for some fulfillment that they've kind of lost earlier from early as they've gotten older, and there's all kinds of really clever double entendres going on when they realize how attracted they are to each other, and it's just a really good look at like two characters who wouldn't normally be somebody that you would be interested in reading about and making them interesting.
It's fair to say that the two protagonists of this story are not the most widely well liked of characters.
Yeah.
So a romance between the two being the main the main point of the story and just the thing that you're supposed to be rooting for is actually quite interesting. If it pulls that off, I'm definitely giving it a shot. So.
Oh, is it written from her perspective?
It appears to, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I shall be giving this a shot. I've fallen behind on so many stories due to A, my computer exploding, and B, being a story approver.
Which is to say, getting drunk enough to approve stories?
Yes. we were talking about it the other day, like someone was asking, Orbs, how do you get through the story queue? Drugs. All the drugs. So, if I become a story approver, do I get to do drugs? No, the drugs are a prerequisite. You don't get to be a story approver unless you're on like 3 kinds of cocaine.
I take lots
3
of
different
cans.
blends
Can I be
from
a
like
story
all over
approver?
the world.
Yeah. I found out what morphine tastes
Perfect.
like the other day. That was interesting.
It tastes really bitter, doesn't it?
No, the morphine I had was like ludicrously sweet. Like
Really?
ludicrously. It was like
I saw that, but how did you manage to taste morphine? Was it
So-
accidental or what?
yeah, pretty much.
Well, the
accidental.
pharmacy he works at, they have to test everything to make sure it works. You know, you gotta take the drug home and try it for a couple of days, see if it feels good or not.
You're testing the batch for quality, you know. You've got to do it every now and
right.
then.
Yeah.
Next week I'm doing it with tramadol.
Ketamine.
Yeah. Right. But no, it's like there was a lady who came for a prescription and she had a really bad knee injury, and so she had morphine for the pain.
Yeah, I was gonna say it must have been bad if they were giving her morphine. That's usually one of the later options.
Unfortunately,
Like if
on the
you're
way
actually in
out, she tripped, landed on her knee, and dropped the morphine.
Oh.
So
Sweetheart.
we did what we could. You know, we sat her down. We got her a chair. We helped her out. We gave her just a free resupply of morphine. We
And then you cleaned the floor with your tongue.
no, because there was broken glass. So I didn't do
Like
that.
that would stop you.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't have been able to feel the glass anyway, so...
True enough. So no, I spent half an hour picking up broken glass and mopping the floor, and at the end of it, I was like, "Oh, that's what morphine tastes like." Shit.
Now, see, my limited experience has been that it tastes
Mhm.
incredibly bitter. So,
Perhaps if it's in the hospital, but this is something that you have to convince someone to take home and use on their own.
Yeah.
that wouldn't be difficult with
Like,
morphine.
True.
Convincing.
Generally not needing that much convincing, but it's entirely possible that it's just sweeter to make it more palatable or make it whatever. I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
we
it's
have
sense,
to
though.
test this.
Maybe
I
it's
think
maybe
we
it's a
need to test
different
this.
kind of morphine because there are
In
different
detail.
kinds.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was ludicrously sweet to the point where it felt like I was drinking, you know, like really thick treacle.
Oh wow.
Like really thick treacle, but it was like just a regular like water density liquid just on the end of my thumb.
It
It was
just tasted like treacle toffee.
basically.
Ugh.
Oh dear.
So, yeah, pharmacy is interesting work.
Sickeningly sweet.
Mm. Oh my god, we had a doctor come in yesterday at about 7:30 at night. This is a bloke whose job finished at 5, and he came in about 7:30ish, sat down and started having a chat with the pharmacist. And he was talking like, I've got this patient, this is her condition, she's also on this, and this. What drugs would you recommend for her? And after having a chat with the pharmacist, wrote a prescription then and there on the counter. It was a private prescription, so he had to pay for it, which he did.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then got on his bike and cycled to the house of the old lady who he was doing this prescription for 2.5 hours after his job had actually finished.
Oh.
And I was just like, well, that's a really decent human being right there. That's a genuinely
Yeah,
nice man.
really.
I was talking to the pharmacist about how nice a man this was.
Above and beyond.
Yeah, and then a lady who was in the queue behind the man who turned up a couple of minutes ago, we gave out her prescription and we were just like, oh, sorry for the delay. We were just helping that doctor take care of a patient. And she was just like, well, you should have checked if I was okay with waiting. It's like, bitch?
Really?
Really?
Do you want to go down that path?
This is
Because
a doctor
it's not going to end well for you.
giving up what little valuable spare time he has outside of being a doctor in order to help little old ladies. You cannot get more kind-hearted than that, and you're fucking complaining that you had to stand in line for 2 minutes. Ugh. Yeah. Ups and downs.
Yeah, just a little.
It sounds like a bit of a roller coaster, yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely that. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's a decent job and we're helping people, even when some of the people really don't seem like they need that much help. But well.
There's always these types, though.
Yeah, there's always in every industry. I've been talking to a dancer earlier today, and she was lamenting what's going on in her job at the call center. So,
Oh
dear, I do not envy her. Has anyone here worked in a
I've
call
been
center?
trapped in 6-day work week, so I have an idea of what you're going through.
Oh god, yeah. I normally work a 4-day week because I work a later shift than most people. But at the moment, every single other employee is currently taking their summer holidays, so I've been working 6-day work weeks as well.
Oh, fun.
Hey.
6-day work weeks later.
Brother who knows what's going on.
Not only that, but the 6-day work week a few weeks ago, I had 1 day off that week, and my computer exploded the night before that day off.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Yeah. That was
I
fun.
remember that now. So pissed.
So yeah, that is the life of Plum right now.
You appeared to take it very well.
I mean, at this point, you can only really laugh.
Yeah.
That is true. That is very true.
Oh dear.
So,
But yeah,
horses.
horses indeed. What about the other episodes that have been recent? We can't discuss the one that aired earlier today.
I've not seen it anyway, so.
Yeah, I haven't seen it anyway. I haven't seen last
I
week's
didn't
either.
watch last week's.
No?
Out of all the ones that have, out of all the recent ones, the only one I enjoyed was Stranger Than Fanfiction.
Stranger Than Fanfiction.
Well,
I
yeah,
That
can-
one
I
was
can
really
understand.
good.
That was awesome.
I mean, the title is a bit incorrect considering the fanfiction we've all seen.
Yeah.
Me more than most people. But yeah, that was a fun one. That was a fun one. Like
Honestly, I really liked what was his name? Quibble.
Quibble. Yeah. The guy with the
Quibble
daring
pants.
to
Quibble
body-
Pants. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Dacky Macaras. Jesus Christ.
Oh, they were.
That was beautiful.
That's
Yes.
just oh.
And the
So
reactions.
You really
they
do
had,
know that.
though.
Like you can tell, like at least one of the artists has been to BronyCon.
Probably.
Oh dear.
And the food vendor at the convention center.
Ice cold
Handing
water.
over. I've seen everything.
Yeah.
I've seen hell.
I've,
Just take your food and leave me.
I've seen the Black Lives Matter protests going on outside the door. Oh,
Zebra, what do we Zebra Lives Matter? Donkey Lives
Zebra
Matter.
lives- yeah, Striped Lives Matter. There we go.
Yeah, Smoothie Pony
Film
looked
Lives
like
Matter.
Smoothie
Yeah.
Pony looked like
Oh,
she had
dear.
seen that exact same argument between Dash and Quibble like 5 times that day.
Only 5.
That hour.
Oh, here they go again.
Yeah.
Oh, they're playing with their toys.
Mm.
Why?
Oh man.
Ah, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
but I honestly, I completely and utterly adored that episode. I couldn't stop laughing for the entire time.
I was recently thinking about it, and it kind of struck me how much, in some episodes at least, our wishes came true in things like we got so much world building over the past couple of seasons. Like
Yeah.
we've had episodes entirely dedicated to griffins. Like the flashback in the Griffinstone episode was fucking amazing. You know, we've
Very
had
dense.
yeah, we had a changeling episode today, an episode about changelings which doesn't revolve around Queen Chrysalis. You know, we've been to the Dragonlands. We know about the Dragon Lord, and there's all these trials by fire and all this sort of shit. We've had a fair amount of world building. That's not
And
bad.
there's still a lot that we can do as a
There is still a
fanfic
lot
writer
that we
still.
can do.
I mean, it's closed off certain doors, but it's opened so many others. It's like, I think about half my fanfics have been completely jossed by now.
Well, that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
the alternate
Oh well.
tag is for, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
Right.
Arch. All your fanfic was jossed ever since season 2 Luna appeared.
Like the great Captain Barbosa would say, they're not rules, they're guidelines.
Yes, very true. Oh, dearie me. I wonder how many people will get who I'm talking about.
Feeding tube, that's the one I came up with.
Not many.
Probably not.
I was hoping. Oh, Christ.
Has your epic 10 billion word fanfic been jossed yet, Blum?
No, it is unjossable.
Oh, good.
You expect it soon now, remember that.
Oh, of course, it's always coming soon. It's just right around the corner. Oh, dearie me.
And then the next corner, and then the next corner, and then the next corner.
There's always another corner.
It's coming out tomorrow. That's when it's coming out.
Tomorrow never comes, Plum. Tomorrow
Lies.
never comes.
False. You're lying to the children. Jesus
The children that told me this.
I'm trying to think of what else I've done recently, but with my computer exploding. Oh, I did read the entirety of Ursula K. Le Guin's The Wizard of Earthsea. That was
That's a brilliant series.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mentioned it at the very start of the video that I uploaded last week, I suppose. I cut it out of that video because I was a bit like, this will go on for way too long if I leave it in here, but I might upload it as a separate thing, where it was you talking about the Book of the New Sun.
Yes, the Book of the New Sun.
For
Brilliant books.
20 minutes straight.
Yes.
Wow.
I love those books.
It was you talking about the books and me nodding and occasionally going, oh, so that's how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
As opposed to the rest of the video where it's basically you talking and me just going,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
pretty much. Pretty much. Oh, dearie me. They do sound
mean,
really awesome. How would
I could go on for hours about those books. They're just so
Well, why don't you? We've got an hour.
because we're supposed to be talking about ponies, not far future science
talk
fiction
about
set in
ponies.
South America.
We can relate
also
it.
talk about that.
Hmm.
I'll upload the video of you explaining your love for the New Sun books.
Please do.
But on the
Yeah.
condition that you give a very brief summary of the series right now.
Okay, right. A very brief summary of the series. The Book of the New Sun. I can't remember who it's by now.
Oh, Virginia Woolf? Was it?
Yeah, that'll do.
I think
It's
so.
by someone who knows far too many things about far too much ancient literature and keeps sticking references to just about every goddamn thing you can think of
Gene
into her
Gene
books. Yeah, it was a wolf of some sort.
Gene Woolf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Virginia Woolf.
No. Close enough. All right. The Book of the New Sun. The basic story of the Book of the New Sun is you start off with this character whose name I cannot remember, like Severin or something along those lines. He's an inquisitor. He tortures people for a living and then kills them. And so over the course of these books, he goes on a journey to essentially discover Jesus and try and find out why the world is dying and to make the sun come back.
That is a very brief summary.
It is a very brief summary. It's hard to encompass everything that goes on because these things are set in a far, far distant future where everyone is basically picking over the remains of civilizations that have risen and fallen over thousands and thousands of years. It's set in South America, so all of the references to the North and the South that we would understand are completely flipped over. If you go north, it gets hot. If you go south, it gets cold. It's actually set in Buenos Aires, at least at the beginning. And I had visited the place shortly before reading these books, so I was going through the first books and like, I know that place. I've been there. I've been there. I've been there.
I understand that reference.
Yes. It was just, I understand that reference, the book, pretty much.
I'm not going to lie. That actually does sound like a really good series.
It is a really good series. I mean, it's sort of like, it's hard to classify because it's fantasy, it's science fiction, it's an examination of the human condition in a lot of ways. And the main character, the protagonist, in a lot of ways, I say that phrase a lot, is not a nice person. He's not a good person. Yeah, the morality of the entire series, I mean, the other characters in the series is very different from our own. And it's just like, it's this character who's trying to find his place in the world, trying to understand exactly what he's meant to be and what he's meant to do with his life, who actually ends up being the savior of, the planet in the end. And he's sort of reluctantly dragged into this, and he goes down a whole bunch of false paths, and he meets all sorts of crazy people. God, I could just go on for hours and hours and hours, but you're better off just reading the books.
I'm going to have to read it because it sounds like it's actually a pretty entertaining series.
There's 3 books. The thing is, it plays with your emotions in really weird ways. Like there's one part where this character, he meets this kid, and you think, oh, this kid's going to be his sidekick through the entire series. It's like, he's going to grow up, he's going to teach him his ways. This guy's he'll be like Elisha to his Elijah or something. He'll be a successor. He dies. He falls off a cliff and dies. Just like.
Oh,
that's it. Okay.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. then he doesn't really mourn him because he's used to death. It's like it shocks him in a weird way, but he's used to death. He's used to people dying. So it's like his mourning for this character is not a case of, it's not the typical sort of, oh my God, it's like, I caused this tragic event. It's like, oh shit. He's dead now. What am I supposed to do?
Not again.
I can't even get to his body.
It's viewing a twisted world through a twisted lens.
Yes, and I love stories like that. I love stories that look at the world through really different perspectives and
One thing
morality.
that stuck out in my mind in the middle of your 20-minute rant was you were talking about how the world is thousands and thousands and thousands of years in the future or whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, so we're basically like the ancient Greeks to them. And you said, no, there were people before the ancient Greeks. We're like those dudes.
Yes, we're the Achaeans. Oh, in fact,
Wow.
we're not even the Achaeans. We're before them.
Yeah,
We're Neanderthals. What do you think?
basically. Oh, dear. So, yeah, I'm definitely checking this out. I do need to find out where I can bloody get it, because I'm doubting I'll find it at the local bookstore.
I don't know, you might. It's been in print for a very long time. It keeps getting reprinted. So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Oh,
it's a surprisingly popular. There's also a companion series called The Litany of the Long Sun, which I don't think I mentioned.
You did
Which-
mention that. That's the space one, where they're in a Coriolis cube thing.
Yes, they're in a generation
Oh, Lord.
ship. That's
Yeah.
It's one of those spinning things.
And you explained that the reason why it's called the Long Sun is because there's a shaft of sunlight that goes down the center of the ship, and they call it the Long Sun.
That's right, yeah.
That's
And they've been in space so long they have myths about the short sun, which is the sun. And it's like they have this idea of this mythological world of the past, and where there was no land in the sky, where the sky was just the sky. There was just nothing there, and they could see lights, and the lights weren't the lights of other houses and cities. And it's goes on. It's this. Gene Wolfe is such an amazing writer, and I wish I could be as tenth as good as Gene Wolfe is at writing, because then it would be amazing.
Daw. 9.5.
you're already a good writer, so that makes her.
Yeah, you're a
I
part.
certainly wasn't fishing for compliments then.
But you should have been.
Then there's me calling you a kid. Yeah.
I was being sincere. You're a really good
Just as
writer.
we weren't.
Yeah.
I appreciate all of your sincerity.
But yeah, this is definitely something I'm going to have to check out, because you've sold me on it completely.
Easily.
Yeah.
And now we expect that video up by night's end.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a bit of a long video, so I am going to have to cut it down a bit.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, just like Red cut out my explanation of what I was saying in the middle of the Space Beast Terrified video, so now I look fucking racist. Oh my god.
Now you know how it feels.
Dude, I don't have to cut anything out in order to make you sound
Now
racist.
you know how it feels.
Would you like to visit my farm, Arch?
You're not baiting me this time.
I don't have to.
Not again. Fool me 10 times. Fool me.
Only 10? Wow. Dearie me.
I need to trim my mustache.
What non-horse books have people already seen? Oh, horse books have people already recently done.
There seems to be a fairly steady sort of trickle of actual printed fan fiction these days. I can't think of, honestly, I say these things and I can't think of any examples.
The Luna Code, I think, is one that's getting printed. Or was it the Celestia Code? Yeah, the Celestia Code and the Luna Code are getting printed by the author.
Really?
I think it is, yeah.
Wow.
Which is actually
I don't know
cool.
how they get away with it. I guess it's just
He's
limited
doing. I
edition.
think he's like doing a small run of it, which
Yeah.
is permitted.
That's
It's a small
basically
run,
the-
and typically they're only covering the cost of the books. They're not making a profit.
Right.
Those are the two things. Like, generally, if someone's only making like a couple dozen books in order to give or sell to their friends, it's not worth the time and money paid to Hasbro's legal corporation. You know?
No, it certainly wouldn't be, would it? No.
So a lot of people do kind of sneak under the radar there.
I always thought Patreon was rather murky waters when it came to that.
It can be. It definitely can be.
Yeah.
Like, Patreon is fantastic if someone's making original content, but as soon as they're making derivative content, like Patreon itself, by becoming a patron, it's like, I am paying you for this fan fiction content, this thing which you do not own, which is
That
I
gets
think-
murky.
I
like
think
if it
the way-
If it's just like PayPal donations or something like that, you can technically get away with it because it's like, I'm donating to you as a writer, not because you're writing this legally owned thing that you don't own. Whereas if your like Patreon is Arconix is writing horse words, then you can get in trouble for that.
Well, actually, my Patreon, when I had it set up, I've since shut it down again, was just I was a writer. I wasn't writing. I never actually told anyone about it, which is why I didn't pay any money on it. I think that's the distinction.
Yeah, if it's just X is writing, then it's probably okay.
Yeah.
In a grey sort of sense. But if it's is writing X fan fiction, or if it says you're writing just generally, but your rewards are, I will write My Little Pony fan fiction about you, or something like that, then suddenly it's in the less okay side of grey things, you know.
Makes sense.
It doesn't, because legal systems are fucking weird, especially the American copyright system. But
it's just a nightmare of red tape, I think.
Yeah, it's like I feel like Lung Tse, just being like, that's not actually how it works, but it's a very convenient lie.
Yes.
A lot of our systems seem to benefit those who are already benefiting from it, and not those who actually want to break into it.
Yeah, like I think copyright is a fantastic thing. I do think the way it's handled currently is a bit daft. Like, I don't think something needs to be protected for decades after someone's dead.
It's author's life plus a century now.
Yeah, author's life plus a century, which is absolutely bonkers.
Asinine.
Because a century after I'm dead, I will continue to not give a shit about money. I'll give exactly as much shit as I did 99.9 years ago when I died.
Oh, that's never going to happen, though, Plum.
Yeah, I will live forever.
Yeah, we all will.
You are eternal.
So, I don't know.
It is a really sort of interesting subject for if anyone who happens to be listening wants to go off and do a PhD on this kind of thing. Copyright law as it relates to fan works is a very interesting subject.
That would make for an interesting thesis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
people have done theses on stuff like this before. Like, I remember at BronyCon 2013, maybe? Whatever it was. It was the first year I went, and myself and Bad Horse, we attended it was a panel held by a guy who was studying like, I think he wasn't studying, he was a professor
I'll be right back.
at English University.
We'll be here.
He was a professor at the Southern English University. He was a professor of mythology and stuff like that. Like his thing was history, but he specialized in like historical mythology and stuff like that. And he was writing a paper. Was currently in the process of writing a paper based on mythology in modern culture, like the way modern culture kind of like picks and chooses bits of mythology, and the way it emphasizes certain aspects of like Greek mythology and kind of diminishes others, like how in a lot of modern media Greek tragedies have become way less tragic than they actually were.
Oh yeah,
like
they've been vulgarized to hell.
Yeah, like God of War, the video game. It's based on a Greek tragedy, and in the original Greek tragedy, it ends with with Kratos basically just going, "Wow, I've ruined everything forever. Nothing will be right again." And that's how God of War 1 ends. And then they have God of War 2 and God of War 3.
And then everything just goes out the sorting window.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, everything's ruined forever. Shit. And that's where the original story ends, and then they just take it and then go, well, might as well kill people.
Yeah.
Well, that was basically the first God of War is a beautiful Greek tragedy unto itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just went, screw all of that, let's just go kill shit.
Yeah, killing shit is fun. I should go do that more.
He's ruined everything, so he decides...
But you could have made it a spin-off game, or made us a different game entirely, but no. This one has brand recognition.
Yeah.
So basically,
I'm sorry, just unneeded sequels is like the bane of my existence. It really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is a beautiful self-contained story, and no, you're gonna stretch it open like a Saigon whore, aren't you?
Yeah.
So he basically realizes he ruined everything, so then he decides to ruin everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
basically.
why not? You're already getting deep in it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I was
like
gonna say.
in for a penny, in for a
In
pound.
fact,
Might as well kill Zeus.
That seems to be literally the plot of the next one, because it's like, well, we ruined everything in the Greek universe, so we might as well go over to this other one and continue wrecking things.
There's a God of War 4.
There's
Yeah.
going to be another one.
Oh Jesus.
Yep.
Yes, where he has a child, and he's now like a caveman.
Of
He's
course.
wearing spurs, and
which
showing his
pantheon
kid
does
how
he
to
go and
kill
kill?
bears by
Which-
punching them.
Which pantheon does he go and fight? Is it the Romans or is it like the Norse or what?
I think it's supposed to be the Norse.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because there's like
That was
trolls,
the
and you can
impression
see
I
one
got.
gender. And...
Was that it's like he's a Viking now, and he is a child, and he
It's
like
like-
punches a bear to death and gets mad at the kid.
It's
No.
actually
Wow.
becoming as bad as like the Halo series after 3.
Even when Bungie stopped giving a fuck.
Pretty much.
I mean,
Wasn't 3 like where Bungie basically left and they were like, okay, we're done now?
It's like that whole.
Bungie,
3 was basically where it stopped. for me.
Bungie did 3, Bungie did ODST, and Bungie did the beginning stuff for Reach, and then handed over to 343 to finish it off. And Reach was fun. I enjoyed Reach. It was a bit different.
All
from
I
the
know
others, but
about
it was fun.
ODST is apparently it's a game of how tragic, who can die the most tragically. Like, who can have
Yeah.
the most pathetic, mournful death? Not pathetic,
Yeah,
sorry.
I mean that's
That's all I know about ODST.
That happens a lot in the Halo games.
I mean, all of what we just said could be summed up with that image wrapper. I'm sure everyone is familiar with, where the text is, there is a point where we needed to stop and we have clearly passed it, but let's keep going and see what happens.
Yeah, basically.
Oh dear.
There's
That
just so
very
much
image
emphasis
would
on
probably
like
be
brand
like
recognition.
the,
It just drives me nuts.
Mm.
Like, is
Like-
it really that scary to make a new IP that people are really that unwilling to try something different?
Yes.
I mean,
I wish
I
they would.
think one
Shush.
of the worst things for me about Halo's thing in particular was like part of Halo 3's story was that Cortana, the AI, was going batshit crazy.
Yeah, because she's an AI and they have to.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
established
she's-
that.
It's the law.
God
They-
forbid computers work.
Yeah, she's an AI. They fuck up after a few years, and also she's kind of been possessed by a fucking corpse god.
Hey, look, I work with computers. I work with computers. I know that they will go to shit sooner or later. It's inevitable.
Exactly.
I know, I know.
And then like Halo
It's
4
just such a trope. It's kind of tedious after a while.
Yeah.
Halo 4 and like Halo 5, like she dies, but then she gets better, and then I don't have to die anymore. Cool.
Bring out your dead. I
It feels
feel
like
better.
it feels like they were. It feels like they were trying to make Destiny before they made Destiny. With the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that all the stuff with Cortana dying and coming back to life wasn't made by Bungie. That was all
No.
343 Industries. That was completely unrelated.
And I'm sure that was
Uh,
Microsoft aggressively writing them.
Yeah.
You know, going like, oh, the metrics say that this will do really well. Oh, whoops, we fucked up. Better fix it.
do not
Also,
kill the boobs, please.
Also, we
It's like
need
that Family Guy
Cortana
episode
kill
where they were like, oh my god, we're running out of viewers. We better kill off a character.
Don't
Oh,
kill
look,
her.
people came back. Okay, we can redo it.
It's the death and return of Superman.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone actually pointed out to me that they said like they've like looked into it and said that like the decline of comic books or something started with the death of Superman or whatever.
Yeah. Like
I can see it.
Stupid man.
I can see that. I can definitely believe that.
You ever
Well,
read
he wears
the
his
website
underpants
Super
outside the
Dickory?
crowd. Oh,
Yeah.
It makes sense, really though.
I love that site so much.
Don't even get me started on.
Super Dickory.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes.
Superman being an asshole, that never stops being funny.
That one where he's holding a jug of water over
Yeah.
Batman and Robin in the
Yes.
desert or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lois Lane in the desert. Yeah, yeah.
When I was a kid, my mom was a resource teacher, and so she had all kinds of like, you know, materials to help kids reading. And one of the ones I remember, they were called Super A comic books. There were like 4 of them. There was Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and I forget the 4th. It might have been Aquaman. I don't know. But I just remember reading them, and they were so stupid. Like, it was obvious they'd gotten some really hack writers to throw some stuff together and some really crappy art. So, like, Superman's fighting the alternate universe dude whose name is, like, Mr. M and a bunch of consonants.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the way he gets him to go away is by bashing out a bunch of rocks into letters and going, pronounce your name! Okay, I'm gonna mix them up. Pronounce your name! Okay, I'm gonna mix them up. Pronounce your name! I can't think of my name! Oh shit, I said it backwards and now I'm going away. Like, the Green Lantern one is he gets attacked by plants. Like, it's Hal Jordan. He gets attacked by plants or something, and so his little plant friend puts on the ring and beats everybody up.
Nice. This is like the day of the Triffids if one of the Triffids was good and also had magic powers.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nice.
that's basically it. And honest to God, it looked like a Triffid.
Nice.
It's just so funny. And, like, I don't ever remember a single kid reading those comics. Like, I think I used to read them and just laugh myself sick over them. But I don't ever remember actually using them for teaching. Because I used to volunteer and help out to get my volunteer hours in high school. And I just thought they were righteous. And the kids are like, what is this crap?
Yeah. Sounds a bit like Bible Man, if I'm honest. Could they be the...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Bible Man is...
I'm so glad I was never
Oh,
exposed to that when I
man.
was a kid. I think it would have destroyed my faith in humanity.
Yeah, I think like my primary school, it's still a really old building. Funnily how that works. It's even older now. It's a massive building that was built in like the late 1800s, and it's been there since. It's been a school since like 1904, something like that. And it's just filled with all these old comics and teaching stuff and stuff like that. And I remember when I was growing up there, the main thing that we had that was like little comic book things was we had comics of like small adventures that took place in World War II and stuff like that. So we had like tiny little booklets, like smaller than my. You remember them as well, don't you?
Yes! I can't remember what they're called, but yes, I remember those. They were like that big.
Yeah. They were little square things about
just
that
little
big.
adventure stories about these.
Lancaster pilots, stuff like that.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I remember the Lancaster one because a friend of mine was reading it. I was like, "Oh shit, I need to read that," and then he took it home and never brought it back. I was like, "Oh."
Do you remember? Do you remember the one where there was those fellas on like a fishing boat or something, and they had to go out and I think they were going to Dunkirk or something. But there's this one bit where they're pushing the mine away from the ship with a broom, and then they rescue a German airman who crashed into the sea, and then take him home to a concentration camp or something.
Oh, how loving of them. Rather than just, putting him out of his misery and shooting him right there.
Chucking poking the mine away with the German.
Yeah, stretch out really stiff, bud, or this isn't gonna work.
Just Heil.
Pretend you're a penis.
Hang on. UK War Comics. Commando Comics.
Commando Comics, yes!
Oh, come on, I was just looking up those Super A comics, and they're hilarious. There are apparently like 8 of them, but Mom only ever had 4.
Let's see if I can find the one I'm thinking of.
Jesus Christ, this is a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, really, eh?
I used to buy these.
Oh my gosh!
I voluntarily bought them and read them. I thought they were brilliant.
Commando
I never bought these comics. They were terrible.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's the difference.
We'll just chalk it up to young and stupid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, young and dumb.
Kill
That
me
happens.
if you can. Interesting. The collection. Retreat or Die. Burning Skies. Firebrand. Night Intruder. Jesus Christ, these were published in 2016? What the fuck?
They must have been
Still-
republished.
They're still publishing them, I guess.
Oh.
Maybe.
I guess they're that popular.
Phantom Frogman is one of them.
Oh shit, I
Revenge
think
of
I've read that
Shadow.
one.
Revenge of the Shadow. Hang on, what?
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 From the radio?
Say.
I say.
Nice.
Is it Scrapper's War by any chance, Arch?
I think it might be. That sounds familiar.
As World War I raged in the trenches of Europe, another, more unusual campaign was going on in British and German East Africa. British Lieutenant Trevor Waite and his South African counterpart, Dirk van Ormer, had taken charge of Scrapper, a derelict steamer which they would use to pilot against the sleek German Navy torpedo boats. Not only... carries on. Yeah,
that's not the same one. That's a different one.
Yeah, it's a different one.
Nemesis
I just remember this one bit where they're waving goodbye to the German fella.
Nemesis of the North shows a British airman fighting a polar bear.
Yeah. No, that's a Russian. No. This is on Smolenskaya Ostrov, a small island in the Barents Sea.
I don't think Jelly Jakes and
Jelly Jakes.
Russian names.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And the rest of the convict commandos.
Yes.
You have to read them with a 1920s radio voice.
Yes.
We need Jesse Cox in here.
He
He does the best radio voice.
Africa. During World War I, Lieutenant Trevor Waite was an infantry officer posted... Trevor Waite? That's him again.
Trevor Waite!
Must be a recurring character.
Yeah. King of the Spits. Jesus Christ. Wow. I don't recognize half of these, but the half that I do recognize are fantastic.
When war came to the island of Silo, southeast of the New Guinea, the pilots of the Royal Australian Air Force Squadron laughed at the two freakish-looking planes operating there. Pop Onslow and his son Willie ran an air freight business, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Ta-da!
Hang on. That's
Did he suddenly
Tailspin.
get skeletal?
That's
What?
Tailspin.
Have we discovered... Is Tailspin World War II fan fiction? Is this what we've
Oh
discovered?
my god.
What have we discovered?
Something amazing. Something beautiful, I hope.
Oh,
That is-
the plane design on the front of this thing is just insane.
Achtung,
It's just
submarine.
Random plane wings and
Yeah.
propellers and wheels and
What is Matilda's?
there's a bear in
Oh my
there.
goodness.
There's a bear in that.
There's a bear in that plane.
Dude, what? Link it. It really is Tailspin.
Please link.
I'll pop it into the public chat because, by the way, public chat.
I'll pop
If
it
you
into
have
the
any
chat, I can see
questions-
too.
Oh, Flying Flea, I saw that on it, yeah. Let's have a look.
If you have any questions for us, now is the time to ask. Because we
Yeah.
are
There's
just
also
ranking
all the other
them.
stories we could talk about.
Yeah,
That
there's
literally
also...
looks like
I
looks
wouldn't mind,
like
fangasming about Hench for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yes, Hench. I didn't read that exactly. I kind of skimmed it, but I like the.
Oh
idea.
my
God, read
God.
it, it's so
What?
good.
I found
What?
one. It's a picture of a man, right? And the man has crafted a raft out of a fuel drop tank from a plane, right? He's crafted that and some bamboo sticks. He's got
Okay.
a paddle, and he's riding a shark.
Hang on, isn't this that magazine with like the guy fighting off a whole bunch of people fighting?
Maybe.
What does he think he's
Explains
going to do?
so
Man
much
magazine
about
or
your
something.
childhood.
What does he think he's going to do with the paddle if he's already on a shark?
He's gonna
I mean,
spank it till it goes in
Swim
the right direction.
upstream?
Yeah, it's like riding. It's like a riding crop when you're riding a horse.
Oh my god.
I just
I wouldn't say that he's riding the shark. It's more like he's going over the shark.
so he's jumping the shark. Is this where they?
Yeah,
literally
he's
jump
jumping a
the
shark.
It looks
That
like
would be
it
how I would
looks like
describe
a-
it. He's jumping a shark. Because
Yeah,
the shark is
charging-
literally, it's perpendicular to the boat.
Yeah,
He's made
but
himself a
charging-
little outrigger canoe,
yeah,
which wouldn't work because he doesn't have a float on the other side.
no, he
No.
doesn't.
He's built like half an outrigger canoe. For those who don't know, an outrigger canoe is literally a canoe, and then you take a branch of sticks and put them on the side, and then you put a second float like 2 feet over,
a
and it
small
essentially
bit.
makes it.
Hello.
Yeah. You put a small float, and it helps it stay balanced. But this guy's literally got the sticks and nothing.
Now
Yeah.
you see, the thing is, when I was buying these comics, they cost 20 pence,
Yes,
Okay.
they were super cheap.
and
How
now
many
they cost
hundreds
£2.
are they worth now?
Okay, I just want to point out
This
that
is the-
basically half the stories on this site either have the word eagle in it or die in the title.
Yes.
Like basically all of them.
Oh,
Why
it's
is a
the
mosquito
gold
ramming
connection.
another mosquito? What the fuck?
What's that, Ram Raiders?
Yeah. Deadly drop.
Because
After
Because
a friendly
fuck you,
fire
that's why.
incident cost the lives of his comrades, Private Ron Allen clashed violently with fellow paratroopers. Interesting.
I found the danger zone.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
These are all modern books. None of
Yeah.
these are old ones.
None of these are the old ones. No.
No. Eagles
of New Eden.
Arise.
Eagles of New
There's
Eden.
bedknobs and broomsticks.
I need to watch that movie again sometime.
Oh
pretty
my god, that was
good
a beautiful movie.
Oh, I loved that
So-
movie when I was a kid.
Lone
Which
Star.
movie?
Oh yeah, I found the danger zone as well.
Bedknobs and broomsticks. Bedknobs and broomsticks? What am I
Yes.
saying?
Something like that.
Broomsticks are something entirely different.
I
Yes.
hope so.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Avant le canon, a German mouthful that will shorten to flak, a word dreaded by every Allied pilot.
Achtung, Spitja.
Achtung!
I like that they
Submarine.
didn't limit it to like wars, like the recent world wars. Like the first one is this Eagles Arise that's set in 1066.
Yeah.
That is a war.
William of
It is a-
Normandy.
it is
Yeah,
an
but
English
it's not
war against
set
the
in like the
continent.
First and Second World
Yeah.
War is what I meant.
Yeah.
No,
true.
exactly, yeah.
There's
That's
also
just-
one that's set in Napoleonic Wars as
Wait.
well.
If this
Yes,
is
but I'll bet you it's not as good as Temeraire.
if they're talking about the William the Conqueror,
Yeah.
who are we supposed to be rooting for? The guys who are invading Britain or the ones who are defending the British
Honestly, I
crown?
would root for the guys defending, even though he sort of failed.
Presumably the ones defending.
Because rooting for the guys who lose is an English pastime.
Tradition?
Yeah.
Tradition, in fact, yes. And then
There's
after
that.
they lose, we all get drunk and have a fight.
No, we get drunk, sulk about it, then we get drunk a different day, and then we fight.
Yeah, that's right.
That sounds like a good way of doing things.
But Scotland's already invaded itself, so we sort of stand around looking.
Look really
Dude.
confused.
We stand around looking a bit stupid while you all sit there and grin.
I found a, yeah, that's very true. I
Look
found
proud of
one.
yourselves.
I just want to describe this cover art, okay? So
Okay.
on the right and in the background is it looks like some sort of like RAF pilot. There's a plane with flak and there's flashlights. Back middle is a US looking very old with a paratrooper falling behind him. On the right-hand side is a disembodied arm firing a gun, but in a wrong way. And in the foreground is an old Scottish man wearing nothing but tartan and a beret with a leather shield and a sword.
You sure he doesn't have some woad on there?
What?
No word. He's got a very nice beard and scraggly hair.
Well, it's
As is
obviously not
tradition.
properly Scotland.
What the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Death of a Wimpy. Death of a Wimpy. I remember that one.
Death of a Wimpy?
Death of a Wimpy. It was about a
Well,
wellington.
every single Wimpy in the country's dead now.
Yeah,
So.
it is now. Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck, I missed those.
I've just found a blog called Blimey, which is posting all sorts of old British shit. Like, what is it?
Ah, Full Speed East. I read this one. Shit.
Plum, did I tell you about the con I was at where they actually knew about that old Welsh show?
They knew about fucking Ivor the Engine.
Yeah! One of the
the
girls there
engine.
was Scots.
The
And she
Engine.
puts it on, and I'm like, yeah! And she goes, who said that? And I stand up and wave, and she's like, you have excellent taste. I was hysterical. Like, it was talking about, like, what 80s cartoons did right, and it basically just evolved into everybody, having a massive nostalgia boner as they played old clips and stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah, she put on fucking Ivor the Engine. I'm like, I know that crap! It was great!
Oh dear, Ivor the Engine.
Ivor the Engine. I used to love that
Oh,
one.
God.
Yes, Ivor the Engine and Nog in the Nog. Those were the two.
Hi, Mr. Dice Station.
Yes, not bad the bad. Jesus Christ. I'm just looking at these old cover arts. These are ridiculous.
Oh yeah, a
So
book
this-
recommendation for people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
John
Go on.
Cleese's autobio. So anyways, it's really, really good.
I imagine it would be. Most things by that man are.
Yeah.
Yes. But there's a scene where he's talking about, I guess his mom, childhood really messed her up, like
Uh-huh.
childbirth. Sorry. And and she sort of became this kind of tyrant and like was afraid of everything and very passive aggressive. So he talks about at one point, he's like, so I mean, they associate a lot of genius and wise intellect with maternal neglect. So I figure if my mother had just ignored me a little more, I could have been huge. I would have been a painter and an actor and an inventor and a crafter, and unfortunately, I just turned out to be pretty good at a very narrow field of writing. It's just stuff like that, and it's just so funny.
Oh dear.
Frank Cleese is awesome, though.
Oh god, yeah, his book is a scream. Like, I just couldn't stop laughing reading it. It's really interesting too, because it gives you a lot of insight into, where he picked up a lot of his mannerisms and behavior and whatnot. It basically leads up to sort of, and it's one of those, like, if he wasn't such a genuinely nice guy, you'd want to strangle him, because his entire life is a series of fortuitous coincidences. He's like, oh, I've graduated college and I have 2 years with nothing to do. Oh, look, an opportunity just fell in my lap. Okay, I'm done that job and now I'm finishing college and I don't know what to do. Oh, look, an opportunity just kicked me in the ass. Like, the way they got the Monty Python show was the group of them got together and said, hey, we want to do a show together. So they go to the head of the BBC and they're like, hey, we want to do a TV show. And he goes, okay, what's it about? And they'll go,
comedy.
They haven't thought of anything. And he goes, whatever, just make 12 episodes. Like, doesn't even want to pilot. Just goes, fine, go make it.
This cover art, it's for the thing called Triple Whammy. It's
oh dear.
A Scotsman in a kilt firing a gun, next to a Russian firing a gun, next to Lex Luthor firing a machine gun, while fucking... I don't know who that is on the left, but the other one is Hitler. His disembodied head is grinning.
As he often does, yes.
Can we see a link, please?
Yeah, link in that.
Oh my god, it is. That's beautiful.
Wow.
I mean,
Who's the other disembodied head? I recognize Hitler, but I'm not sure what the other one.
That's Sean Connery. and that's Timothy Dalton as Hitler.
Absolutely. There is no way you can convince me that is not Lex Luthor firing an M60.
It is.
Unquestionably.
Hang on, why is there a Chinese guy in the middle?
He's supposed to be Russian, judging by the red star on his cap and the fact that he's
right.
H.
Who's the second disembodied head?
That's a good question.
I think that's meant to be General Montgomery.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it is meant to be General Montgomery.
He happens to look like Sean Connery, which rhymes.
He kind of looks like an Italian version of Sean Connery in a weird way.
Commando Comics apparently has its own
It's
wiki.
the Italian job.
Wow.
Boo. Boo.
Oh my god, I love the description for the rogue mission. The Home Guard never served overseas, did they? And they certainly didn't take their improvised armored vehicles to the east of Africa to fight Axis forays, did they?
Wow.
Of course they didn't. Or did they? A bunch of Home Guardsmen from Hecklethwaite might beg to differ, for they know the story of the rogue mission. This is 2015!
Of all the places. Hecklethwaite.
Where did his yellow streak go? LXXII.
Hecklethwaite.
This fucking blonde-haired, blue-eyed American super commando with his fucking Tommy gun jumping through an exploding window. Shards of glass flying around him as he screams. Jesus fucking Christ.
Wow. The comics were launched in 1961.
Yeah.
Originally it was 2 a month, then they did 4, now they do 8 per month.
Wow.
That explains a lot.
Today?
That's hilarious. Apparently.
That explains a great deal.
There's a wiki for it. You can literally, it's Commando Comics wiki app.
I'm sure
I'm looking at it now.
Hang on, no, I'm sure there was a competitor to it. By the way, it's popped up in our thread.
Uh-huh.
Hello, Mono.
Hello, Mono.
Hi, Mono.
We'll get you on this podcast sooner or later.
Yeah. As soon as you're better, though. Go and get better.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
no longer not quite dead.
Yes. For anyone who didn't hear, Mono selflessly went to rescue her 2 cats, ended up getting knocked unconscious, and then inhaling a large amount of toxic sewage water.
She literally
Did in
drowned.
fact die.
Yeah, she
died
literally
for a bit.
died and came back. She's now a zombie, but she's an adorable zombie.
She
So
almost
awesome.
Jesus.
Zombie, one of the two.
she's the feminine zombie Jesus.
Yeah, we're not sure whether she is a zombie or she is Jesus, but I guess we'll find out. You know, we just need to monitor what she's eating, check it for brains.
I mean, as long as it doesn't have to be human brains, it's easy enough to supply those, though.
Yeah.
You know, lots of organ meat.
That's a delicacy in some places.
And she's also doing a little bit better.
Yes, she is doing much better. She's writing lots. She's okay now.
I'm going to be honest.
Send her your love.
It's harder to do worse than being dead.
Yes.
So.
And you know, inhaling sewage water.
Yeah. Dead by sewage water. You know,
yeah. I mean, on the other hand, she is in Mexico.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I suppose the only place that could be more appropriate is Brazil.
Jesus Christ. Dude, the Brazilian Olympics
sorry, I had to.
Yeah. The Brazilian Olympics are insane. First of all, Britain's doing really well, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's the most crazy thing about it.
That's the most crazy thing. Second of all, the rugby sevens was fucking insane.
Oh my god, I watched a couple of those games. They were amazing.
I forget.
A bunch of different people. First of all, the women's rugby sevens one was fucking brutal. I'm pretty sure 2 people died. And the British men's. Okay, so first. Australia,
I saw the men's where Fiji just laid them out.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, Australia got shat on by France, which is hilarious.
Isn't that like a national sport?
Australia's national sport is basically rugby. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
I mean, it's that or getting drunk.
That's
Australian rules football.
Yeah, those are the 3.
Yeah.
Also cricket.
That's basically rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Zealand.
As long as it's not Australian rules Quidditch, we're fine.
New Zealand, which is completely their national sport is rugby, got shat on by Japan.
What?
Yeah.
Well, they just run between their legs or something. No.
You're joking, but it's basically what happened. Like every single New Zealand player would have been able to punch the Japanese players into dust. Like they were so much bigger and stronger and beefier. But the Japanese dudes were doing all sorts of fantastic passes, like across, like basically the entire width of the pitch, and he had like, I'm pretty sure I saw one person pass through a New Zealander's legs to another person.
I can see it.
And it's
well,
just
if it works.
Yeah, if it works. We stomped Kenya 31-7, but you know that's.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's not their specialty. Their specialty is running.
Yeah, and we got second place to
Speaking of which, oh my god, Usain Bolt and Andre DeGrasse.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Everybody's blowing up over the bromance.
Yeah. I love watching
a moment during the race.
I love watching Usain Bolt run, because when he runs, what he does is he's a distinctly middle of the pack runner at the start.
Yeah.
And he looks around him, judges what everyone else is doing, and does a bit better than that.
Yeah.
It's
like
great.
He's so beautiful to watch. It's just that economy of motion.
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
Like, oh, I need to go slightly faster to beat that dude. Done. I win.
Yeah. It's like watching Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Michael Phelps is now retired.
Yeah, like the race he won to like do the 4 times medal. Was just hilarious. He was like 2 body lengths ahead of the next guy.
I remember watching.
And I'm watching him, and like the world record is just this little line trailing in the background. It was just so adorable. It was just like, oh, precious, don't worry, you'll catch up with Daddy someday.
I remember watching one of the swimming things, and it was someone from like, oh Jesus Christ, I don't even know where in like South America, and he's had a very French name, and he just dove, and by the time everyone else had finished diving, he was half the length of the pool ahead.
Wow.
That's one hell of a start.
Yeah,
and
really.
Somehow he didn't completely fuck it up with this start. He ended up getting second place.
Right.
So he was like sort of half human, half poison arrow frog.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, he's basically like Michael Phelps, where he's amazing, but he's also a complete and utter fucking mutant.
Yeah.
Yes. It's my fans, doesn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, and so not only has all this shit been batshit, but they found a fucking severed leg in the boating event.
Oh yeah.
They found a severed arm too.
Maybe they did. And a corpse washed up next to the fucking volleyball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
But basically, the rest of the body is like
No, the body had
a
the
different
leg.
corpse.
It's a different corpse.
Okay.
It's hilarious
And
hearing
then there was
about
the whole
how.
Ryan Lochte. He was like, "Well, I'm angry that I'm not Michael Phelps, so I'm gonna make up this story that I got robbed and they actually bought it."
Yeah.
There was
As
a guy
opposed to going,
was a guy
"You're
who
an
was
angry little shit, knock it off."
There
Yeah.
was actually a guy who was robbed, though. They didn't make a big
Yes.
deal of it, but
I remember reading
Not because he's not an Olympian.
Dude,
it's kind of hilarious how all the athletes are like, yeah, Rio is great if you don't actually go into Rio.
yeah. Dude, before
So
the
about
Olympics
Manchester.
started, someone was robbed in Rio. Someone was there for the Olympics. It was a British tourist in Rio for the Olympics. It was like 2 days before it started, and he got robbed. And he was robbed by 3 men. One of the men, they didn't have a gun. Instead, one of the men vomited on this person on camera.
Oh, poor dude.
Projectile vomiting used to rob people.
Just take the money. Just leave me go. Let me go have a shower. I beg of you.
Brazil doesn't exist. This is not a real country. This can't be. Like, at the start of the games, wasn't the mayor in jail?
Didn't the people at
Something like
the
that.
Yeah, the man was in jail. Yeah. They let him
Yeah,
out.
now he has an ankle bracelet, so they know where he is at all times.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, what was another really funny one? Oh, 100-meter women's was hilarious. It was the Canadian and the American tied for first, like literally dead tied. But the Canadian was so adorable. She's this little 16-year-old, and like the camera's on her. Like, they're showing everybody, and then they announce the medal standings, and, like, the American's a couple rows over freaking out. The Canadian is still staring at, like, the edge of the pool. She hasn't turned around yet. She's just kind of staring, breathing. She clearly thinks she's done badly. Turns around, grabs the side rope, looks up, and just goes under.
Yeah.
Like, she sinks about 4 inches. Her mouth just gapes open, and then she starts freaking out. But it was just so funny watching her. Like, everybody yelling and screaming and cheering. She's like, oh, man, I did so badly. What?
Yeah.
Oh, Canada, we're a little slow in the uptake.
That's why it's your national anthem.
Yeah.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Oh!
Oh, Canada.
We're sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dear.
I still find
Oh,
it
wow,
hilarious.
Great Britain is doing well. You guys are third in the medal standings.
We were
I know.
damn. Yeah.
Who was it? There's like two people who are basically got more gold medals than most of the planet.
Michael Phelps and someone else.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember who it was.
He's got like 25 of the damn thing.
Yeah.
I know, but in this Olympics.
I don't know.
This is also the first Olympics where the British people have ever won a gold in gymnastics, and we won 2.
Well, and what was it like? Kosovo and some Puerto Rico, I think, like got their first Olympic medals ever.
Got its first ever Olympic gold medal. Yeah.
Yeah, which I thought was really cool. And like Kosovo, because like this is the first Olympics they've ever competed in, and they medaled.
Nice.
I thought that was so cool.
And then there was a shootout in the horse stables.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a weird contrast going on there. It's like
it's very unusual.
Cool things happening and then weird as shit things happening.
Like,
why are horses having a shootout? You know?
That was so. I've got a friend of mine. Her daughter is part of the Australian equestrian team. She's like the physio for the horses or something. So she talked about yeah, it's really neat. We've actually seen her on TV a couple of times, which was sort of cool. We're like, oh, look, Diana, it's your kid.
We know her.
She's older than me, but I still call her a kid. But was talking about like when the Olympians first showed up, a lot of them got really shit accommodations, and like the Australians, I guess, sort of like showed up and went, "What the fuck is this? We're not staying here." The Kiwis just went, "Oh yeah, we'll fix it up."
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I don't get about the thing about the whole who wins the most medals thing is kind of funny because America sent 600 athletes.
Oh my god! I remember watching the opening ceremonies, and it was so hilarious. There were like some countries where it was like, "Yeah, 6 people," and then the others was like, Hey, look, you're your own mob riot.
It's almost like we would actually make up events just to send athletes to them and be like, yeah,
Exactly. It's like, okay, jousting. Let's make that a sport. We can send people for that.
and then we'd be like, yeah, we totally won all the medals for all the things.
5 discus throwers at all times.
There was some event I watched where first and second place were Americans.
Yeah.
It was just like, guys, you need to cut back a little.
Mm.
I do really like the refugee team, though. That's been pretty cool.
It's like,
Yeah.
congratulations, you came in second out of all 5 Americans who placed.
Yeah. I'm just waiting until there's a race where there's literally nobody but the Americans.
That
One
would be
Super Bowl.
hilarious.
One dude
Yes.
on the podium.
The
with
World
a
Series.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Oh, Christ.
No matter
Oh
who
my
wins,
God,
we
it's
win.
gonna
Get it?
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating.
Oh, we shouldn't laugh, but it's so funny.
But it's so true and it's hilarious. Well, my favorite was that tennis player with the fucking guy who's like, how does it feel to be the first person to win 2 medals? He's like, I'm pretty sure the Williams sisters have done it.
Yeah, yeah. And they're like, oh,
The announcing has just been all over the place this year.
dude. It's
Like, I know a lot of people have been complaining about the Olympics, but like, honestly, I really enjoy the Olympics. You know, I get together with people and we watch, like, I was at my cottage and like we all get together around like the one little TV and we watch the opening ceremonies and had a really good time. Like, by the end of it, we're like, oh my God, is it over yet?
Yeah, it's like the Eurovision, only stretched over a week.
Yeah, exactly.
pretty much.
They had a lot of fun. Like, I admit, there's some really scummy stuff happening, but I mean, it's still been pretty good. Like, my favorite was the internet freaking out over, like, the North and South Korean athletes, like, taking selfies together. Like, wasn't it the gymnasts? The 2 of them, they're taking photos, and I was like, oh my God, is she gonna have to defect?
Yeah.
Is she going to be executed?
Yeah, exactly. No, apparently it's really great. They call it sports diplomacy.
Oh, good.
Like,
Yeah, it's like, you know, China's got panda diplomacy, North Korea has sports diplomacy.
Yeah.
ta-da!
It just reminds me of the
literally defecting, like,
Yeah, we've had it happen.
yeah. Like, it's really interesting watching the, like, dichotomy between the different things in the Olympics. Like, the stuff
Yeah.
going on within the games itself are pretty universally kind of great.
Oh, yeah.
Almost across the board, it's been really good things. There have been the occasional things where, like, Russians have been caught doping again or something like that. But
And there were a bunch of people who refused to go because they felt the entire team should have been kicked out.
Yeah.
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 Which, I mean, I can totally understand that argument, but I mean, like, these only come around every 4 years, and you spend your entire life practicing, you have to have some pretty strong morals or be amazingly confident about, like, your physical ability to hold out another 4 years to skip it.
No.
Yeah.
Then
Like,
again,
it's
you've also
one
got to be
thing to
very
have the
confident,
entire
yeah.
country say they're boycotting, because then it's not on the athletes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like, you've also got to be incredibly physically confident that you're going to be capable of beating a doped up Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
one of those is
Zarya,
more
anyone?
embarrassing than the others. Yeah.
Oh, Zarya.
Yeah. Fucking best waifu.
Not
Yeah,
May.
right.
Top 3.
May's pretty solid. May's pretty solid. But
Well, I
She's
don't know,
adorable,
she got that
but
fucking
in
photo.
rotation.
Actually.
yeah, rotation of waifus. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Let's start a fight. Who is best waifu?
Yeah.
Derpy, no questions.
The con I was at, there was a guy who took a trash bin, like a rubber trash bin, cut out the bottom, cut holes for his arms, and pasted anime characters all over it, and then just had a little label that said, is shit.
Yeah.
I meant to get photos of him, but I only saw him once. It was great.
Oh.
Cosplay idea. Turn up at BronyCon, have a bin, and just have a little sign next to it going, "Waifu goes here." Like,
Didn't someone do something like that already?
probably.
Probably, but that doesn't mean you can't do it again.
Yeah.
Like that person who went around with a tray of freshly baked bread rolls and held up a sign saying "Looking for Anaconda."
I I was petting a boa constrictor earlier. Does that count?
Why, hey.
Is this?
No, the actual snaky kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a local like reptile pet store traveling circus kind of thing, and they had their like 20-foot boa constrictor out.
Nice.
Yes, he's
So what's this
adorable.
person's name again?
I think it's called Ray's Reptile Zoo.
How is it a local thing if it's traveling?
I guess it just travels in a very small circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, shit.
Damn it, I gotta turn around.
It's its own tail. Oh, it's an Ouroboros.
Ooh, an Ouroboros.
Ooh, handy.
Ah, Jesus
Oh
Christ.
man.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, there's spiders that turn cartwheels. Why the hell not an Ouroboros?
I remember seeing what was that. First of all, the spiders that like dance around in cartwheels are fucking great. Second of
Oh
all,
god, yes,
there's a
they're so
spider-
cute, I want one.
There's a kind of spider that they discovered like 3 weeks ago, and it's a spider where what it does is when it's under threat, it sort of leans forward onto its front legs and does a handstand so fast it flies backwards.
What?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
That's hilarious.
I-
Oh
I'm
my
out of here.
goodness.
Handstand.
yeah.
Yep. Bye.
Oh, bye.
There's this type of lizard
Bye.
There's a type of lizard I love that's called a Draco volans because
Yes.
it has this like frill on its sides,
Hmm.
and it's amazing because it's not like bats where it's connected to the arm and the leg. It's literally just it's apparently an extension of the ribs, and it leaves them curled up. And then when something threatens it, it literally just like spreads this frill and just goes flying away and just glides up.
Yeah.
So cool.
There are fucking
Yes.
gliding snakes.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know, aren't they amazing?
Amazing.
That's
Fucking-
So
terrifying.
brilliant. No, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Like
They're pretty-
they make their underside concave,
Yeah.
and actually like they're light enough they catch the air currents and can like glide from tree to tree.
They're basically
It's amazing.
a windsock, really.
Sure, it's amazing. It's terrifying.
A living windsock.
Yes,
Yes.
It's still terrifying.
Yeah.
but snakes are adorable.
They are pretty adorable.
Damn, Skippy.
Oh, I found a video of one.
A flying
Oh
snake.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty. They snake around in the air as well. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Link.
Well, that's how they. Oh, good God! It's flying. It's going straight. Jeez.
I really gotta see this now.
If you go on YouTube and Google flying snake, like the first hit
Yeah.
Alright.
Sorts
is
of.
this guy showing off this flying snake,
And my
and it
suggestion-
really does like glide.
It does.
It's great. It like whips its tail around.
Yeah.
It literally looks like an inflatable balloon that you've like let go of.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
surprised
just like
nobody invented flying based on this.
huh?
Oh my
It actually
god.
maintains height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing.
What the fuck?
That to me, that's the most impressive part is that it stops losing altitude at some point
Yeah.
and like actually just manages to continue. But I just love like the little tail propeller.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Yeah. And then my suggested videos alongside this are giant anaconda attacks human caught on camera.
Nice.
Biggest
I
snake
don't think
ever.
I'll look at
100
that.
No. And then there's biggest snake ever, 195 feet. Eagle versus sea snake.
Yeah.
Top 10 weirdest snake. Biggest python snake. Giant snake in the
Giant-
wild found alive. If you're scared of snakes, don't watch.
Proof of the five-headed snake.
Mm.
Only in India they use cobra as toys for their kids. I'm gonna call bullshit.
Yeah.
Little kids
Um,
might play with cobras because they're stupid, but there's no way an Indian mother is gonna be like, here, honey, go play with this poisonous animal.
Mm.
I don't know. It depends. They might want them to become a snake charmer.
Yeah, or I mean, if you're trying to get rid of them, if you have too many kids.
Yeah.
It's a consideration.
Yeah.
What was the thing
It's
behind?
just-
Like, Jesus Christ.
What's that?
Wasn't it in was it in India, I think, where like there was a problem with frogs, so people like the British, I think, released snakes to kill the frogs, and then suddenly there were too many snakes in India. So they started paying people to bring them dead snakes. And the Indians learned this, so they started snake farms secretly.
Yes.
So they get those snakes, and then when the British caught on, they're like, oh, well, we're no longer allowed to do this, so might as well set all these fucking snakes loose. And then the
That
British
will
had a
end
snake
badly.
problem in India. It's like, oh. Well, this
My
could go on
favorite
then.
story is actually some like in India, the rat they had problems with like the rats bringing disease and infection, but the rat god was a super big deal.
Mm.
So of course there are rats everywhere, and big fat sleek bastards. So some guy in his area of India got the idea. He made up hundreds of Ganesha statues and gave them away. And of course, Ganesh is, a household goddess, and he hates rats. So
Ah.
suddenly everybody had a Ganesh statue in the house, and they just sort of quietly handed out rat poison, and the rat problem ceased. And nobody got sick from that plague. It's
That's very
just like,
clever.
that is so brilliant. I love it.
Yeah.
Because if you tell them rats carry disease, they're going to go, well, no, he's a god. Rats protect us.
Yeah.
So it's just, but this god doesn't like rats. Okay, then neither do we.
Yeah.
She's so smart.
Yeah.
You're a shittier god.
My god can
Or not.
squish your god.
Imagine being the rat god in that situation. You say, dude,
Oh,
come
Lord.
on. Come on,
What
stop
the
eating
hell?
rats. That's not cool.
My God. God, he has an elephant trunk.
Mm. Oh my god.
Oh dear.
But yeah, Olympics.
Pony
Didn't they also
Olympics.
screw up the chemicals in one of the Olympic pools and
Yes.
turned it
Yeah, and
green
it turned out
smelly?
green and sludgy for a while, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, the divers actually quite liked it because it meant they could actually see where the water was.
Yeah, that was my thought. That'd be really handy.
Yeah. Well, the things that are going on inside the Olympics are actually pretty okay, but everything outside of it seems to be going to shit. Like,
Yeah,
Like,
everything like in the stadium is doing fantastic. As soon as you go out of the stadium, that's when the problems happen. Like I was watching one of the rowing competitions, and like I couldn't even tell you who won. I don't remember.
mhm.
So clearly they weren't Canadian.
Probably
I think it was like the women's 2-man rowing.
yeah.
And like one of the teams like came out in the water to celebrate, and they're like rocking the rowboat back and
And
the
they
scull
all-
back and forth, and like the announcer makes some comment about clearly the water toxicity isn't a risk to these guys because they're about to tip them over, and it was just,
Oh, wow.
how can you make a comment like that just so casual and offhand that like, hey look, if you fall in this water you're gonna get about 6 different diseases and probably die, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I just, oh.
Like, oh my god, like, okay, so first of all, the amount of people who actually bought tickets to the Olympics is lower than it's been in recent history because of a bunch of reasons,
Not least that guy in Ireland.
What?
The Irish representative of the IOC who was buying up tickets and trying to sell them at above cost.
What was that?
And is currently has been arrested and is being investigated for it.
Good.
Nice.
So good.
Yeah, there's a bunch of, like,
Moron.
you've got everything else that's going on in Brazil. Like, you've got all the revolutions and shit that are going on because of government.
Yeah.
intervention. You've got the Zika
Not
virus.
like the safest area.
Yeah. So it was lower than normal because of that. But
Mhm.
then the security people for the Olympics are monumentally incompetent.
Oh no.
Well, because they
hearing
were
about
probably
that.
hired like the day before they started and given 5 minutes of training.
Yeah, basically. Or they weren't given any training at all, as some people have reported. Because
Yeah.
not only have they failed to properly check bags and stuff like that on multiple reported occasions, but they're so slow that people are waiting in queues outside the event, and they have to leave because the event is over.
Oh my God.
Ah.
Which is why for like the first 3 days, basically the entire stadiums are empty. Like,
Yeah.
If you actually watch the early rounds of the men's gymnastics, there's about 20 people in the background.
Oh, 20.
I do actually recall a couple of times watching some of the early stuff and going, wow, there aren't many audience members.
Mm.
But I mean, I figured because a lot of it was like preliminaries and such, and you don't necessarily, you usually don't get as much turnout when
Yeah,
it's just,
Hmm.
the heats and whatnot. But,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's monstrous.
Yeah, they're all stood outside in the Brazilian heat, so
Oh God.
yeah.
That's brutal.
Then there's Venezuela.
Then there's Venezuela.
Oh,
Venezuela
jeez.
is definitely a thing.
What?
I
Venezuela?
love
what?
the whole thing behind Brazil's, I think he was a president up until recently, is that his platform was anti-corruption, right? Because Brazil, basically since its inception, like whenever, has been horribly corrupt.
Yep.
Ever since it became a democracy. And this dude was like, well, corruption's shit. We probably shouldn't do that. Elect me and I'll stomp out corruption. Credit. He did go after basically all of the most corrupt politicians. You know, like he went after big oil companies who were buying lots of votes and all that sort of thing and all that. And until a few years ago, they found out that he'd been taking bribes as well. But they decided to let it slide because he was taking smaller bribes than anyone else.
The lesser of two evils, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, he's less corrupt, so...
It's baby steps. It's
like a plaster.
baby steps. You don't wipe it out all at once. You just kind of, you
You don't rip the
slowly.
plaster off all at once. You just kind of go for a little bit of corruption, and just a little bit less. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Is he like the nicotine patch of politicians?
Yes.
That was effective.
So, I don't even fucking know. This year is bonkers.
This whole year has been crazy.
insane.
This year is 3/4 done.
Don't say that.
It can't be done soon enough.
It's
That means I'm going to be 37
Yeah,
soon.
Yeah.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
don't worry, Arch. We'll still talk to you and let you ramble like an old man.
Oh,
Well,
God.
We'll visit you in the home.
Just bring me booze, I'll be fine. You don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah, we'll
actually
smuggle
stay.
in liquor for you.
You can just bring it in and leave again. I'll be alright.
I don't want to see you. Just bring the alcohol.
Yeah.
We'll slide Commando comics under the doorstep. They're making
You get the nurses addicted to them.
Yeah.
We're like, when's the next edition coming out? When's the next one? I need to read more.
You can make a little like reading circle for Commando comics.
That's right, yeah.
Is one new one every 3 to 4 days. That's
We can discuss how in this edition Bodger defeated the Germans single-handedly by punching Hitler in the face.
the disembodied head of Hitler. That's the
The
important.
disembodied head of Hitler, yes.
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 Bodger. Because it has to be Bodger or Smudger or
Yes.
oh boy.
Diggory.
Stinkers.
Stinker.
This explains so much about England.
Mm.
Yeah. Sadly.
Yeah. Terrifying, isn't it?
Honestly,
Not really.
The Lancaster Commando.
We stopped fighting you guys like a century ago. I'm not worried.
Really? We haven't stopped fighting you. Should we stop?
Probably
We
not.
haven't noticed.
No, I don't think we noticed either.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think the last fight we got into was because you were mad at the stake.
Yeah.
Yes!
This is
That
like-
went well.
Oh, yes.
it did.
Both sides won.
Yeah. This is like when
I live right near one of the major battlegrounds, and so
Really?
every year when that rolls around, they do reenactments, and I just grind my teeth. But I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? They did a commemorative coin last year.
Oh God.
I was just
But
like,
the way he
why?
says stuff, he's like, and it burn, burn.
Such a farce.
Very cool.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yep.
So
And
anyway,
just like that, the combo died.
About those reviews.
yeah,
Which is amazing. Everyone should go read it.
yes.
It is.
No, the one with the
Whatever the stories were, I'm sure they were really good.
We
I
had
will tell you
Hench by
this.
They Call Me Jub, which is super, super good. And even though it's mature rated, it's not really mature. Like, it's
Yeah.
mature themes,
It's
but I don't honestly think that it needs a mature tag.
No.
It's
Honestly,
in that
it's-
gray area between adult and teen. Like, if we hadn't, like, an A14 rating,
Mm.
Yes.
like, that would be pretty appropriate. Like, it's not quite teen, but it's also not mature. So they kind of erred on the side of caution and just went with mature. But it's such a good story. Like, Colton
Oh.
Gardez talked about, Jub is the person you go to read really good fight scenes. Like,
Yes.
That is his fetish, and he is amazing at them.
Is he the wrestling guy?
Yeah, that's why I said it's his fetish.
Yeah.
Fight scenes are literally what he gets off on, and he does them beautifully.
Personal opinion. It becomes very subjective at that point, isn't it?
Well, come on, everybody puts more work into porn, right?
Yeah, true. I will say I have been reading through The Sister's Coronet by Fable Scroll.
Oh yeah, that one looked really good. I haven't actually read it yet.
It's very Shakespearean.
Ooh.
I like that.
I'm currently
Me too.
I like people who can write poetry because I can't.
I'm slowly progressing through Days of Wasp and Spider.
Oh my goodness!
Finally getting to read. After how many years has this thing been out?
So how long did it take you?
Yeah.
Is Days of Wasp and Spider good?
So far it's seemed pretty well. I know basically everyone who's read it loves it, so.
I tried reading that once. I think I must have possibly been suffering from a lack of blood at the time because I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't humans.
No, it was Diamond Dogs, wasn't it?
I think so.
Something like that.
That was actually one of the things that kept me from reading it.
Yeah, I mean that's the initial impression I got was it's humans. It's like actually no, it's not humans. So I really need to get back and try and read it again because the premise is intriguing. Yeah, but I'll just say it again briefly. The Sister's Coronet. If you like poetry, read it for fuck's sake. There you go.
What else have I actually read recently aside from like? Oh, I've been meaning to get around to the sequel of The Age of Wings and Steel. Have you read that? The sequel, Ferret? Blood, Sugar and Sales.
There was a sequel?
Yeah. I only found that out a little while ago.
Huh.
Age of Wings and Steel.
Age of Wings and Steel was epic.
I love The Age of Wings and Steel. That was a fucking fantastic story.
I
could have sworn that I read some of this while I was on EQD.
Oh, I started reading Love, Sugar, and Sales, but I found it really dragged and I fell out of it. I should really go back and like reread because I've read like 25 chapters, and I just it didn't have the same snap that the original did. It just felt very meandering and kind of tedious, and it was just like I don't care.
Yeah, well, like the cover art for Age of Wings and Steel is like this very politically driven, everyone's facing off, and there's obvious intrigue and adventure. And then the cover art for the sequel is like beach vacation.
A romantic comedy. Well, and it's a very different story. There's not 60 different plot lines going on, but it was still just.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
I don't know. It didn't feel. It just really felt like it just kind of dropped. Which really frustrated me because I love the original.
Yeah.
Like the first book is amazing, and this one just didn't grab me enough. But I still think it's worth. Like I've read 25 or 27 chapters, so I mean I liked it well enough. So I should really go back and reread it and see if I can figure out why I fell off it. I think part of the annoyance was that it's really slow to update, and there's often a lot of stuff going on. So it's literally if you want to keep up with what's going, you have to kind of go and reread like the past couple chapters, and they're not small chapters, so it just got really discouraging.
I mean, this story
certainly might have been part of it.
So, Jesus.
I mean, they're not terrible. They're like 4,000 words, but still.
I mean, I'll say from the writer's perspective, sequels do tend to suffer from that sort of meandering. I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to be doing thing.
And I think that was kind of the issue. Was it sort of felt like it needed to be tighter. Like the author didn't. In the first one, it really felt like the author had a really solid, like, I know exactly what I want to do with this, and this one is more like, I'm not really sure.
I'm doing this for the sake of doing it. It's like, I wanted to do it, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with it.
Maybe a little of that, but almost more a case of, like, they're sort of trying different things, which is not bad. I love it when authors try new things. But in this case, I would rather if the author had tried it with, like, maybe say random short stories rather than this big, really long, ongoing thing that doesn't quite work for me.
That's the thing, isn't it, though? In a lot of sequels, it's characters from the first. Well, it's always characters from the first story.
Yeah.
Most of the time, but they're in a scenario that isn't the first story a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of characters don't take the transition well.
Yeah,
I think the character took the transition well. I think some of it was just it's really difficult to transition from in terms of location, they're in like freezing locales and caverns, and now they're in like bright sunny beachfront.
Plus, there's also a certain element of familiarity breeding contempt.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel really awful saying bad things about it because I think it is a good story. It just just because it wasn't for me doesn't mean that it's bad.
No,
I do think it's really good. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's like a change too far, or a step too beyond, or something.
Maybe, and I think it's maybe I was just too wedded to the original story to be able to appreciate the change. And I think it was also just they're really big, dense chapters, and they don't come out often enough that for somebody like me who's a really prolific reader, that I can pick it up and immediately go, oh yeah, I remember exactly where they were. It was kind of me going like, hang on, what's happening?
Yeah,
I have to go back a bit. Oh, okay, now I know what's happening, and now I keep going. Like, as a completed piece, I think I'd really like it. Yeah. But as an ongoing serial, it's not my thing.
That must be very frustrating when you come across authors who just don't update fast enough.
With oh god, what is it?
Not that I'm talking about anyone.
No references, no names.
Plum, you're really quiet. I can't hear a word you say.
Yeah,
you are actually going very
far away from the mic. Okay.
Yeah. Well, get your ass back.
Well, no wonder you were like halfway across the room.
Jesus,
right.
Dude.
Just lean away from the mic when you need to breathe.
Breathing, that's overrated.
But I had that problem with End of Ponies, and the issue with that was like
the fact that it never ended.
Well,
the fact that it should have ended after one chapter.
Are you dissing Wonder of the
End of Ponies? What was the Scootaloo one? I've forgotten what it's called.
That was End of Ponies.
Yeah. So, yeah, like you're thinking of a different one. You're thinking of Background Pony.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. End of Ponies though, like because you do these.
Oh,
big
short
updates.
skirts and explosions, yeah.
Short skirts and explosions.
Yep.
And there were all these different arcs, and the Pinkie Pie arc was fantastic, and all this other stuff. But every time that he updated it with another 200,000 word splurge of just stuff going on, I found myself going, hang on, I can't remember what happened last time, so now I need to reread this 20,000 word chapter.
Yeah, that was my problem.
Or 60,000 words.
Mine as well.
Yeah.
I only read the first chapter.
Yeah.
A really strong opening, it's like,
Mm.
and then I looked at all the rest of the chapters I had to read, and it's like.
Since then, he has broken down the chapter sizes into more manageable 10 to 20,000 words.
Yeah.
That's a lot better.
God.
But it also depends on how fast a reader you are. Like, to someone like me, I'm like, yeah, that's not so bad. But, if you're a really slow reader, that's pretty daunting still.
You're not a really slow reader. 60,000 words.
Oh, man. Shout out to them.
Per chapter. That's a lot of words. I'm very fortunate that I happened to read that story while I was at fucking the sixth form, and thus had plenty of spare time.
Oh,
Oh, thank goodness.
Fucking college.
Mm.
What college? What did you study, man? Where college did you go to?
Bangor for marine biology.
Hmm.
Well,
And now you're a
I
pharmacist.
was doing shit, fucking sixth form degrees or whatever they call them, and I had no time. I don't know what you were doing.
I was doing marine biology.
Well, he said that.
No. For sixth form, I was at York College, and did a bunch of science-related stuff. So.
Yeah, I'm just assuming that people who do science-related stuff just have all the time in the world. Art and craft design and programming. I had no time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, that's a wrap for another day.
To be honest, I probably had more time than I should have, because there was some stuff I should have been doing at the time. But,
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. We all know that one.
That's
There's another
the case for everyone.
Yeah, another Cleese thing from the book. He's talking about, going to Cambridge or whatever, and like doing sciences or something, and then like 2/3 of the way through the year going, fuck it, I can't do this. I'm also writing radio scripts, and this just isn't gonna happen. So he's, all right, what's easy? Oh, I know, I'll do criminology because they've apparently only got like 100 students. So he goes and says, "Hey, can I do it?" And like he figured, like 2/3 of the way through the year, they're gonna say no. But he's like, "Yeah, no problem. Here's the like 300-page textbook. Memorize that, and you'll be good." And then it ends up that like he is writing radio scripts, and it has to write a film script, and it has to write a TV script, and so goes, "Okay, well I'll do all that, and then I'll have 96 hours in which to study for my exam, and I'm sure it'll work out." So writes all the scripts, comes back, crams like a madman, and apparently gets second form out of it.
Nice.
Except they covered it up. They hushed it all up because they didn't want anybody to know that you could skip every single class, memorize the textbook, and still graduate.
Yeah.
That seems strangely appropriate for just saying.
That's so perfect. They were just like, "Oh shit, we can't tell anyone. Rewrite the exam."
What was there a big section on it on conspiracies? That's what I want to know.
Maybe. Oh dear.
There is now.
Yeah, I was gonna say if there wasn't before. Oh Jesus.
Oh God. Honestly, Skate, you've been very quiet.
I don't ever have much to talk about. That's the problem. I don't know what else to say.
Talk about how Red's making really hilarious YouTube videos.
Red's
Wait,
actually a
Adorable
really good
little tiny
YouTuber.
mice.
Yes.
If you could just, be like a like and subscribe drone, that'd be great.
I've already liked. I've already subscribed to you, bro.
You're Jason
Yeah.
Margo or whatever.
I think we're all subscribed to you at this point.
Yeah, I know. I'm sub to it because like
Yeah.
Tack every once in a while is like, "Hey, has Red put out more of that mouse video yet?" I'm like, "No, not yet." I'm actually probably gonna buy the damn game because it looks so pretty and it just looks like so much fun. What's it called?
Yeah.
Ghosts or something?
Ghost of a
something?
Tale.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ghost of a Tale.
Yes,
Looking at that, yeah.
it's pretty cheap at the moment. I think you can get it on Steam. Like it's in like alpha or beta, but oh my god, it's beautiful.
Mm.
I looked up the dev's blog and he had like pictures from I think like 3 years ago compared to now, and it's just mind blowing how much improvement there is.
It reminds me of the Rats of Nim.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
very like Nim feeling,
Yeah. Only
and it's great for someone like me because you can sneak around and steal everything.
Yes.
Not that I do that in Fallout or anything.
Oh,
Skyrim and the bucket hats. Best exploit.
Yeah, and how every single build eventually turns into stealth archery.
Yep. Actually, I had a friend who did melee sprinting at one point. It was hilarious. He'd run up to deer and punch them.
Nice.
And they would just, like, he'd literally just, like, sprint up beside them and then boom! And they just go flying. Like, he could one-hit kill deer. It was hysterical. He's running around, like, naked except for a loincloth.
Yeah.
One of my friends made a melee build in Fallout that was he just maxed out.
Oh, was I not
Melee.
muted? Shit.
Oh, he just like maxed out melee or whatever unarmed combat was, and then ran around in the sexy sleeper punching out Deathclaws.
Because I've been watching Loading Ready Run has Agatha Fisty, One Punch Grand.
Oh no.
And she's currently wearing the Grogna Barbarian suit and an Admiral's cap. And yeah, all she does is unarmed combat. And it's just so hilarious watching her punching robots, doing like little tiny slivers of damage.
Dude,
That is amazing.
It's so funny.
That is amazing.
It's great because basically they let people sort of decide where they're going when they're like, hey, you can go to this town or this town. He'd be like, all right, guys, vote in the comments where you want to go. I'll do a straw poll. And he's like, okay, we're going over here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a really big Deathclaw. We're gonna run the fuck away now.
Oh.
There's a channel on YouTube, and it's an absolutely fantastic channel, right? And
Which
it's
channel?
It's run by an 80-year-old lady.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
heard you talking about this earlier.
Gaming
Yes.
grandma.
Gaming
What's her name?
grandma. I can't remember what her name is, but I'll
But
look
if
it
you
up 'cause
look
it's
up
fucking
like
great.
gaming grandma, you'll probably find her.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
She calls all her subscribers her grandkids and stuff like that, and she's absolutely adorable because she plays all these games, and she's like she was playing No Man's Sky and was just like, wow, like
Get her playing Elite, see what she does to that.
yeah.
Oh.
Apparently it's called Gaming with Grandma.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow, I gotta
And yeah,
look
she
into
plays
that.
like WoW and Timeless Isle and everything.
Red,
What?
you should get her to play Space Beast with you.
Oh my god.
This is a different channel. This is a different grandma.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
Really?
There's more than one grandma.
I was gonna say,
That's awesome.
what?
I didn't know that we could have more than one grandma.
There's only one grandma in the entire world.
So you have like one on your
Iron
mom's side and one on your dad's side?
Shirley Curry.
No, it's the same one.
No, it's a different one. Shirley Curry.
She has a
Shirley
paper
Curry,
head,
okay.
and she
Shirley
lives
Curry.
forever.
Yes, she's on Skyrim episode 253.
Jesus.
Yeah. I've,
That's awesome.
Will she finish it?
yeah.
I hope so.
Oh!
Heyo!
Hirsch. I mean, she's 80.
Woo!
Yeah.
Ah, my
Yeah.
my gran lived till she was 90 something. So
My gran, she lived through both world wars and was a 20-a-day smoker and lived to the age of 93. So,
my great aunt was 104
nice.
when she went, and
I have a
she was
great
late.
aunt. I can top that. I have a
Oh,
great
really?
aunt who made it to 105.
Dude.
Wow.
I actually met her.
Yeah.
I have like very faint memory, but I actually met her. She turned 100 when I was born, so I got they named me after her.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. No,
Yeah,
no,
it's
mine was more recent.
Yeah.
I was having salmon sandwiches with her just like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, she loves making salmon sandwiches from tins.
Hey.
I mean, but the fact that like she was still like up and active, like my great aunt when I met her, was like in a home and was like this little tiny frail lady who was dimly aware of what was going on. So I mean, the fact that she made it to 104 and was still like doing stuff, that's awesome.
Mine was had her all on marbles right till the day she died. She was only in a home for 6 months.
Oh,
She went in and basically sort of like, yeah, I like it here, and then just fell asleep.
That's kind of what happened with my
Pretty
gran.
much didn't wake up again until she died. So it's like,
Oh no.
Oh,
Here's the weird thing. Like my gran, she was one of 4 sisters, and 3 of the sisters all died at the age of 93. The only one was killed before the age of 93, which is a bit. It's a bit weird that they all died at the same age.
Yeah, that's a bit
yeah, that sounds a bit conspiratorial. It's like they're planning or something. Yeah.
And there was like a pact or something.
They just
Okay,
wanted to kill
girls,
you.
we make it to 93, we're all suiciding.
Yeah.
I just want to point out
Well-
that Shirley Curry, the 80-year-old gaming grandma and great-grandma, she in her about section, she says that multiple viewers have requested a PO box for people to send her fan art. So there is fan art of this 80-year-old granny playing.
That's so cute.
That is awesome.
I'm sure some of it's porn because it's the internet, but that's still really cute.
I'm sure she appreciates it as well. She's the kind of
Oh
person.
God, yeah.
Oh my God.
God.
The
She's
internet.
getting thousands of views per video as well.
She's
believe it.
funny then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous of an 8-year-old grand lady's fan base.
Hey, she's probably built it up for a while.
Okay, but what I really want to know, what happens when she dies? Will they live stream her funeral?
Oh, wow.
Oh my
Will
God.
they just be like mobbed by like hundreds of people in the area who are like, I wanted to come say goodbye to Grandma?
Get them from all over the world just sort of pouring in to just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like
That would actually
way
be
back.
pretty epic.
Somebody on like MySpace, her birthday got crashed by like 500 different people. Her
Yeah.
little like
That's impressive.
16-year-old was like, oh, it's my sweet 16, and forgot to make it private. So like a couple hundred people showed up to her birthday party, and like they were apparently super nice about it. And like they kind of staggered it so she didn't get them all at once. But I guess she wasn't too impressed.
Yeah.
She probably mixed feelings, yeah.
Yeah, or there was this like there was a picture of a really sad war vet, and people like wrote him letters and stuff.
Yes.
Oh, I
And,
remember
like,
that one.
They like crashed a party or something to like tell him that he was appreciated and to say thank you.
Yes, I remember that. I
thought
remember.
that was
I remember
so sweet.
It got on the news or something at one point.
Yeah.
On his local news. I just remember
It's one
videos
of
of
those
it.
stories that like crops up. It's the same with like the last remaining survivor of the Titanic like she ran out of money, so like the internet basically funded her nursing home for the past for the last couple of years of her life, and it's stuff like crops every once in a while on those proof the internet can be amazing lists and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I thought
And
was really cool.
Half the
It all
time
depends on the
4chan.
context and all.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. A lot of the time it's actually 4chan doing something right, like
Which is
catching
weird.
pedophiles.
Like that's the thing though. Like 4chan is really just the place where the internet goes to blow off steam. Like some of it is like really bad stuff. Like
some of it's really awful, but I mean some of it is genuinely good. It's just
save puppies.
Yes.
How can you object to that? Like multiple times, people have found images or videos of people hurting small animals, and 4chan has tracked them down and reported them to the police, and they've been arrested and gone to jail. This is like, how can you object to this?
It's like, don't get me wrong, it's the asshole of the internet, but they can still do good things.
Yeah.
Sometimes they shit on the right people.
Yes.
Throwing up shit at the wall and some of it doesn't hit the wrong person.
Yeah, it's like flinging up shit at the wall and eventually you'll get a work of art.
Yeah.
Works of shit.
Yep.
1,000 monkeys shitting at typewriters.
Oh God! Speaking
Making
of
up a
ridiculous
new
art, there was an art exhibit I saw. It was literally this dude would ejaculate on a canvas and then sprinkle it with graphite.
Oh my God!
And it was an art gallery exhibit. There were like 6 different pieces, and all the titles were just like the date and time that he got off.
Oh my God! That literally almost made me throw up thinking about it.
Smell
it. Graphite, right?
Nasty.
I'm not even kidding.
Why would you go visit a room coated in someone's jizz?
I don't know.
Because it's art.
Because you want to see Jackson Pollock in action.
These were like, Jackson Pollock actually put some fucking work,
He'd cover
the canvas. This would be like one area of the canvas has like a handful of drops.
Oh my God.
I assume he must have like varnished them or something, because otherwise it would have smelled horrible.
Oh, so he wasn't even...
Just like that one, I remember reading about this one...
expression of his, activities.
I remember reading about this one art gallery where it was basically just blank walls with little tags next to it, and it was posted as like invisible artwork or some shit like that. And people went for it. It's like, why?
That sounds kind of hilarious.
That sounds like an installation you would get at the Tate.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
What's my other favorite?
I went to the Tate Modern with Plamander, and we unfortunately missed the thing which I was really interested in, which was World War II war photos sort of thing, like photos from the Bombay of Lancasters and stuff like that, which we'd missed.
Plum, you're quiet again. You're quiet
Lean
again.
forward.
I'm quiet again.
Come back.
Okay.
You're too far away. We can't hear you.
So yeah, we missed the one about the war memorials. So instead, we went to one about modern art, and it was.
Yeah, that's about the reaction I would have too.
One of the pieces of art was a log.
A log. Honestly, I have often fantasized about going to the Tate Modern, going up to the balcony on top, unzipping my pants, and just taking a piss off it, and loudly declaring that I am an art exhibition. I would win the Turner Prize for that. I'm not kidding.
You probably have people giving you money for that.
Yeah.
The Art Gallery of Ottawa has this one piece of modern art that's called Breath of Fire. It's like the size of a bed sheet, and there's a stripe of red paint running down the left-hand side. They paid something like $50,000, and the city nearly rioted. What? Like, when they got this piece, everybody lost their collective minds. It was like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah.
Like, you have these beautiful, like, European pieces, and this is what you spent your money on?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like
oh my Christ!
Like sometime, like 15 or so years back, there was a piece in the Tate that was essentially just bags of rubbish.
Oh God!
And one night, the janitorial staff cleaned it all away.
That's beautiful.
And this was they were estimated to have caused something like £150,000 worth
Oh,
of
fuck
damage
off.
to this. It's like it was a bag of shit
Yeah,
in the
no,
middle of
that's
it. Looked like
garbage.
rubbish. They chucked it out like rubbish, you know?
Yeah. Gave it what it deserved.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Pretty much. It happens quite regularly.
Oh my god.
That's the worst part. It's like
One of my favorite pieces of modern art in the Ottawa Art Gallery is it's this like industrial shelving unit. Like it's just a bunch of, metal shelves, and then in it are mason jars.
Mm-hmm.
And
really.
in the mason jars are full of formaldehyde, and every single mason jar has like a stuffed animal in it.
Okay.
Oh.
Like not good stuffed animals. We're talking like, like base prize at the carnival. But
I've
there's
heard
like
about this.
there's got to be at least 50 jars, and they're just full of stuffed animals in formaldehyde. It's hilarious.
Wait.
I'm trying to think of just how much money they wasted on those carny rides to get them all.
I know, that's my thought. Well, it's not or like you go to the thrift store, right, and you buy them by the bag. But
Nice,
it's just
that's
so
the
stupid
thing.
looking.
That's the thing about this sort of stuff. It's like the amount of money that they spend on it is part of the expression of the artistic
Yeah.
sort of thing. It's
Yeah.
like it's about consumerism or something. I could probably
Like on the one hand, I can appreciate the
If I was
part of
given a
modern
run-up.
art, which is like the part of modern art is to point out that like art as a concept is kind of dumb.
Oh, that's
'cause-
postmodern.
Oh yeah, that's personal.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Then modern art's shit.
Modern
Like-
art is kind of interesting.
Some modern art can be really good. There's
Yeah.
like the local art gallery put on an exhibit all about trees. And one of the pieces, they took this giant room and they took like 10 garbage bags of tree shavings and they formed it in the shape of an oak tree.
Cool.
That's
And it was
pretty cool.
it was
Actually pretty
really
good.
really beautiful. Or there was another one where like they took like a tree ring and cut it up and had it like served like in a box of pizza.
Huh.
Like there is some modern art that I genuinely love and think is really beautiful. It's just a lot of it is just you're gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah. It's meant to provoke. It's just what it provokes is not necessarily what the artist wanted to provoke. You know, it's like
Yeah.
derision,
The author.
disdain.
Well, and that's always my
Disgust.
issue is like I love
And just
art
other
galleries
things
where
like
there's
this.
like a thing on the side that says like here's the artist's statement and they're like I was trying to do X.
Yes.
And I love that because I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, you were trying to do X, but I got Y from it, and maybe somebody else got Z. And it's
Mhm.
interesting to compare and contrast. And then other times you're just given this piece of art with no context whatsoever, and it's like, all I can
Okay.
think is the artist was basically going, how much money can I make from these idiots?
Yes.
Someone was huffing some spray cans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just jizz in the corner of this fucking canvas. And
And see,
sell it
one piece of art that really kind of got to me in a way was this was years back now, but there's this person who made a portrait of Plum. Do you remember who Myra Hindley is?
The name rings a bell.
All right, she was the wife of basically her and her husband murdered a bunch of kids and buried them on the Geelong Moors.
Oh, I remember.
dear.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
There's this artist who made a portrait of Myra Hindley with lots of kids' handprints,
Mm-hmm.
and it was
Oh,
like
wow.
it caused this huge outrage at the time, but it had an indescribable impact. It was like I can't really sort of explain what it was about it. It was like
Yeah, like that sounds really interesting. Like,
it was an interesting sort of. It was a kind of a social commentary thing. It's like her entire identity is formed around the children that she murdered, and so they're making a portrait out of children's handprints, and it's like it's sort of a recreation of her identity through this medium, and that's the kind of thing that modern art can be, because it has a very emotional impact on people when they're looking at it, because it's healing.
That is a really good choice.
yeah,
of,
that
yeah,
sounds really
subject.
cool. There was another really good one I remember seeing that was, so in British Columbia there's a beach called Wreck Beach.
Uh-huh.
That's a beautiful, beautiful natural area, but it was really kind of being over commercialized to death at one point, and so it was getting a lot of like tourists were coming, and it was really starting to wreck the area. So what this guy did was took a generator, went out to Wreck Beach with an electric guitar, and played Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
And it's such an arresting piece because it's him at like the crack of dawn. He's completely alone, and it's just him and the guitar playing. And he said the whole point is to sort of make people recognize that, you know, under all the commercialization and marketing, there are two beautiful pieces of art here.
Yeah.
And I just, like, I couldn't tell you how long ago I saw that piece, but it still stuck with me.
Yeah, I can actually kind of see that because
Yeah.
I mean, everyone thinks they can play Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was Wonderwall.
Only when you're drunk.
But don't look back.
So by the way, here's
wait,
Wonderwall.
See.
Yeah.
There's one
My
thing.
God.
Let's see.
It would have been perfect if we just ended this with like a blank screen with Wonderwall being played.
Make
So
it
anyway,
so.
here's Wonderwall. Da, 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 da.
Oh, we can't do that. Taking it down.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Let's just sing it.
I will find some lyrics now.
Acapella Wonderwall. Not quite.
There was what was it?
I'm sure we could bullshit half
Baby,
of it.
you're gonna be the one that saves me.